Going to take a look at last night's stream between Smash JT and of course Jon Del Arroz. There's a lot to be said here, guys, and I hope that Disgusting can also join the conversation. This is very long conversation, obviously, it's 2 hours, so the most crucial points are basically after the 50 something minutes. So we're going to go from there, and I'm going to address some of the points, of course, that Jon Del Arroz did. Now, for a lot of context, so to speak, I have been, well, very in the know about how Jon Del Arroz writes, speaks, whatever, since maybe almost half a year by this point. It all started because you do have to know how am I, in the know or whatever when it comes to Jon Del Arroz, where actually he decided to cover Warhammer 40k, and I'm the 40k Empress. So I obviously covered that before I made my gaming channel a gaming channel. I was doing a lot of that content there, and this time he just stepped on Warhammer pretty bad. And I decided to cover him because everything that he delivered as news was actually pretty much not only speculation, but it was not worded as speculation. Whatever he said about Warhammer back then, it was worded as facts, but it was clearly speculation. So the way that he always words things, that is where the problem lies, because it's a very manipulative type of language which he uses all the time for a lot of things. And at the same time, the Archcast Warhammer, have been doing the exact same thing. It was about the Space Marine game, it was about the Amazon shows, it was a lot at one point. And Endymion as well was doing absolutely the exact same thing. He was pushing the most outrageous claims as facts. He used words like "I guarantee you" and so on. It was very obvious and on the nose. And usually Endymion is not like Jon, but sometimes he does slips here and there, and some people have noticed that, but we're not going to talk about that. Of course, we're going to talk about this now, because on Twitter also, it is just crazy to catch up with everything that's happening there. Jon did said something very bad that sounded very anti-Semitic. I discuss. If you want to get in, just call me on Discord. First thoughts then, before we start, you can say whatever you like before we start.
You mean about the squinty little-eyed mother trucker in the hat on your screen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, so first of all, I want to just mention that Ryan, our Ryan, sent me his interview, his initial interview that me and you both went through on his reality base from 2023 with Jon. And I watched that, like half of that, and I must say that either this character has the amazing ability to like mask what he actually stands for or doesn't stand for, or he's a professional adjuster to the waves, or he just simply doesn't believe in anything and just goes where the most engagement will be. And that's something I talked about on Will of the Fans and on reality based one with Will, and that people like him and George are people who don't care if you like them. They don't care if you like their content. They don't care if if they have integrity, because integrity and being liked is something much reserved for YouTube nowadays. On X, engagement is everything that matters. It doesn't matter that you're gonna get 5,000 hate comments. You're gonna get 5,000 comments, and 5,000 comments is engaging. That's what they're after. They don't care about any like being liked. They have a small group of people, like-minded people who are probably fooled by them, who don't see through the deception. But just the still image that we're seeing here on screen, just I wrote on Master of the TDS's post, the eyes don't lie. Just so you know, the eyes never lie. And look at his peony bead eye on the face, like painted with a Sharpie. He doesn't have anything behind those eyes.
Yeah,
That's my opinion. That's in my humble opinion. And with what he did, sorry, with the Smash JT situation. And by the way, I watched a little bit of it, and I can say that Smash being overrun and being basically caught by surprise, because Smash is someone who basically goes into these things expecting a sensible conversation.
exactly. Yeah,
It's someone who would have the decency to be to at least listen. He was caught off guard, but he handled it in the best way that anyone could have handled it. And I don't think that anyone else could have handled it better than him, or at least in a better way, unless they became very offensive, like some people will do. But that's another type of people. That's all I have to say for now, because I don't want to take too much time. I have a lot to say about this,
yeah. We are. I
that guy,
mean,
but yeah,
I am going to get to the most important parts of this,
yeah,
but
go for it, go for it. Sorry to take so much time.
oh no, no problem. So, yeah, guys, my point was that what I noticed so far from psychological standpoint, because I'm very good to, I'm very good analyzing people. It's one of the things that I have to do. I have to help people with relationships and give them advice. I just have a lot of knowledge about those things in general. So, in simple terms, whatever Smash was trying to say, and we're going to see this, Jon was always deflecting and never addressing the direct point, and Smash was never allowed to make a direct point. Smash wanted to have a very civil, normal conversation, truly honest and intelligent, direct to the point, but Jon had none of that as an intention. And he even invited this guy who actually looks very misled by Jon. He just looks very lost and he does not make
He's sitting in a church chair,
yeah,
if I'm
yeah.
mistaken.
He he absolutely can't differentiate true from what is a total lie or manipulation. It's very weird when I see older people doing this, like not understanding simple facts and logic. But in any case, guys, what Jon is doing also in his videos, if you watch his videos, especially for the last 6 months, especially again when he started covering Warhammer, he really tried to push and push narratives that were absolutely a speculation, but he did worded everything as a fact. So that is when I had a problem with. Before that, I was watching him. I was actually counting on fandom posts as information. There was nothing fishy. At least I haven't noticed back by that time. I was too busy with Warhammer. So when they stepped in, I was like, oh, wait, like, what's happening here? This is pure nonsense. These guys have no idea what they're talking about. Not Smash, sorry. I mean, Jon, Mr. Trent, and of course, by that time, Endymion and Archcast. But once again, Endymion is walking on thin ice for some time, but he's not Jon Del Arroz. Not yet. Okay, so let's start with this because, of course, there's a lot of context, but I mean, whatever
Yeah.
Jon Del Arroz is saying is just extremely dishonest, and you're gonna see that. So,
I'm watching the chat, and minimal effort is saying that Vox Day is a good friend with JDA, and apparently he's in the same sludge box as him. So
mhm.
okay, so
Okay.
one thing that we have to acknowledge is that uh, JDA and Yorch and John F. Trent, they do have a group. It's not just them, but they're the most vocal. This is something that we must acknowledge, because it's
Yeah.
not just the three of them. There are some people that follow them, and it's not just an isolated case, which makes all of this much more important.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm playing from the 55 minutes. I'm gonna jump around where it's needed. Okay. Playing.
Yes or no that it's woke.
It's not a game that I would
I don't
want
hear
to
audio.
be
Damn
pushing
it.
forward and promoting.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's try something. You guys, let me know if you hear an echo.
Yeah.
No.
Well, thank
I
you.
don't hear
Now,
anything.
since I kind of
Your Chen JDA are no longer so. Oh yeah, something that I missed. Yeah, minimal effort reminds. Apparently they are having some sort of a fallout. I'm a little bit behind of the news because I'm actually this was supposed to be my drama-free week, only playing Expedition 33, and but yeah, You can't run forever.
Oh yeah, oh that's very cool. George and GTA are no longer associated. George no longer writes for fandom posts and even left GTA's group chat last night. Yeah, because at
Which-
least you would know. Yeah, you're there.
That is huge. That is huge.
Yeah,
By the
that's huge. Okay, how can I make you hear the audio? You should be
You
able
need
to
to, I
hear it.
think, because I'm always only watching through Discord currently.
Mm-hmm.
You need to run the audio, the PC audio, what it's coming from your computer, to be available on Discord for somehow. I don't know how, but
Last time we didn't really have an issue with this.
because if I run the stream directly, it's gonna be delayed very much, and it's gonna be all types of messy.
No, I
By
don't
the way,
think
welcome
so.
Ryan.
Yeah, welcome,
I
Ryan.
just saw it.
You tried because when I checked, the delay is like 1 second lately.
Yeah, but trust me, 1 second is enough. Like other, I either like if I hear you saying something and I hear you saying it on the stream, it's gonna be all sorts of trouble. That's why I don't do backing tracks from YouTube when I play the guitar, because like half a second is enough.
Well, usually you should be able to hear it, but okay, let's try one more time, guys. Just let us know how the audio is. And okay, minimal effort. Thank you, Thibault. Thank you. Thank you.
Had foresight in this and was reporting on
Thank you.
this, and you called me Kotaku over this. Do you regret doing that? Because I was kind of right about what I was saying about this.
No,
No.
You don't hear it. Damn it.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna mute here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna increase the volume on the stream, and then when you say stop, then I'll just return to Discord. It's gonna be a little bit janky, but it's gonna work.
Okay, okay. Then
Okay.
continuing.
Feminism, it is left-wing identity politics, critical race theory, feminism, or gender politics, like or sexual fetish stuff. All of that is the blanket of what woke means. Correct.
so the battle you're fighting is if it's
Yeah? Yeah? Yes, I hear you. Yes, you there.
Why the fuck is he putting sexual fetish as a thing when he is a confirmed furry or former furry?
Yeah, I think Savvy proved that.
Yeah. No, she totally exposed them. Like,
Yeah, I don't really get it. I mean, how can you like be exposed for being a furry? And I checked, above 89% of all men that participate in this and are furries are actually gay. So maybe he's a part of like this 11% or something, but
no.
it's hard.
All right, don't let me stop you. Continue.
Yeah, okay, I'm continuing with what they're talking about.
not religious is okay, or
Well, it depends on the religion.
so it depends on the religion.
Yeah, I'm not
Your
supporting. I'm not.
religion, your
No, no,
religion is okay.
Well, yeah, my religion is obviously okay, and the religion of some of my Mexican ancestors is not okay. You know, I do not believe in tolerating or advocating human sacrifice, or you know, the Carthaginian religion. I don't.
Or the
I do not-
the Muslim,
Okay. I'm stopping.
Sorry, I just sorry. I reached the human sacrifice stuff when my religion is okay. Like, so there is a lot of sacrifice in your religion, my good man. A lot of sacrifice. It is the cornerstone of your religion. Like, you don't have human sacrifice, no. But basically a lot of sacrifice, and humans do like what do you mean by sacrifice? Do you mean direct killing like the Mayans or something like this, or do you mean sacrificing your soul to your Lord and Savior? I don't
They
want
do mean
to-
physically, but continue.
I know, but like we are interpreting things. I just wanted to point out that I'm not against any religion, like as long as it's in the favor of humanity and goodness. as long as it teaches that, and you don't go into the extremes, you don't go into what I refer to the old ways. And these people promote exactly the part of the religion that can be used for good that I hate personally.
Okay, well, when it
Sorry
comes
to
to,
interrupt you.
I mean, I think that the bottom line here is that when it comes to religion in gaming, the only way that religion should be portrayed is when it's in passing. Like, for example, Assassin's Creed, he's passing by some kind of a pope or something. He kills the pope. I mean, that's actually a mission. He has to kill the pope because the pope is corrupted. And yeah, that's a good, interesting story. Could be. It's fair game. Literally, it's fair game. It's okay. So, in the context of a good story, when you're not actually pushing something, you're just telling a story about, let's say, this corrupted pope or whatever, but without pushing anything. It's not about the religion, it's about that this particular pope, is corrupted, so we gotta kill him. Who cares? Who cares? The pope is not a representative of God, really, and religion is not a representative of God as well. Religion is, for the most part, something that people put in there, and it's just
As a mean,
changed,
as a
twisted.
mean to humanize belief.
I mean, not only that, but there's a lot of agendas throughout history of different people that changed all kinds of religion to fit whatever they wanted to say that God said, and to interpret things so it can fit their desires, their narratives. But that doesn't have to. I mean, doesn't that is not connected to God. It's connected to human stupidity. So. But yeah, to end that, we're gonna continue with this. But the point is that you can include religion in games as long as it's like something interesting, like that's with the Pope or whatever. You see churches, you go around, see cathedrals, like it's whatever. Okay, you're in Baghdad, you see mosques. Yeah, you're gonna see mosques. It's like historically okay to. I mean, historically accurate. If you want to go with historically accurate, you go to Assassin's Creed Shadows to see shrines. Yeah, they're gonna be there. Like, who cares? It's normal, that's normal. You just have to not push stuff, and that's it. But
Exactly.
I don't really
Go
see
for it.
anyone pushing religion in games. I mean, I cannot think of such an example where somebody was like, hey,
Doom is a very religious game.
really? Really?
Where you kill demons for a living.
Oh, well, I don't, yeah, I take
The
that
ultimate
as
crusade.
something totally fantastical and not anything religious, but yeah.
But it's a joke. It's
Yeah,
just
of course. Okay, continuing,
go for it.
continuing.
Female circumcisions. That's evil. So purely.
Wait, what? That's freaking evil. Who's gonna put that in the game? Are you crazy? Why do you have to be that extreme? I mean, we have to learn nuance. Like, what the heck?
What did you say?
He said female
Sorry,
circumcision. Like, go the hell, Jesus.
It
Yeah,
deforms a
Yeah, go for it.
woman and destroys them. So we are
but
not okay with that.
But again, woke is a bullshit term. Woke was a term that
Right.
was invented in order to replace social justice, because social justice was kind of giving away the story too much. And so as soon as people tend to forget that social justice warrior was originally not a term of opprobrium. It was a self-chosen term. They really believed that they were warriors for social justice. Through all the memeing and so forth, and all the rhetoric, that completely changed. And then once social justice and SJW became seen as insults and seen as contemptible, then suddenly it switched to woke. And now, of course, you're seeing that they're trying to invent the term the woke right, which is
Yeah.
Why is that guy there?
He shouldn't be there. That's the point. He shouldn't be there. It was supposed to be just
social
John and
justice
Smash.
warriors, woke people, like this is not a conversation that why are you there? Why do you exist in that stream? You have no place there. What the
Tell that to John.
not gonna
Tell that to John. He wanted this to happen.
I'm not gonna tell that mother trucker anything.
Yeah, I mean.
By the way, I'm doing I want you to appreciate something. I'm going through great lengths to not swear on your streams because I know that.
Thank you.
You enjoyed it to be more clean, but that mother trucker is that is the reason that I do not want to engage with him. That's the reason that my entire point, like, let him be forgotten and rot in like in ignorance and just be forgotten by everyone. He does not deserve what we are currently, me and you, giving him. He does not deserve that. He does not deserve a shred of display.
Yeah, but the point is that what happened here, once again, psychologically speaking, the idea of Jon Del Arroz was to not tell anything to Smash JT, count on his integrity that he's gonna be there, he's gonna talk to him openly, so he can also invite this guy Vox Day to be there and screw the whole thing. I mean, this whole conversation, when you watch it, you are going to notice that Jon and Vox are talking like Smash is not there. Smash is just a viewer to the whole stream, and they only corner him after the 50-something minutes which we are approaching. So they wanted to corner him, but before that they wanted to ignore him by talking to each other and try to basically fill in the stream. So yeah, that's what happened. Continuing.
Absolute nonsense, because there is no social justice right.
Right. The
doesn't
right
exist.
opposes it. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and that's why terms are so important, and that's why it's so important to, and Smash, I think you're correct to go ahead and call people like JDA and myself out and say, what exactly do you mean? I have no problem with being specific, and I don't think anyone should.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that either.
Yeah, no, I don't.
When I had the problem, it's when you go like kind of the high school girl gossip, where you're just like, and you go on stream, and then you
High school gossip. Yeah, it's very manipulative language. And Rivalkyrie, I see you there, guys. I'm not gonna be able to, address all the comments while we're trying to
Sorry,
get through this
just-
because it's long.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just like the delay is killing me.
Okay, so yeah, he said the schoolgirl thing. The third
Yeah,
guy just a parrot. Yes, to control the narrative.
I
Yes.
don't know. I cannot get into this guy's logic because he has none. He's just there to ramble about stuff to derail the conversation. He's being
Dilute.
stupid on purpose.
Yeah. And then gang up on Smash. And yeah. Okay, we are closing into that minute and crazy stuff. So yeah.
start repeating and regurgitating
It's not
comments
gossip
that
when I
are.
go on stream.
It's gossip because
reading-
listen,
it's
Smash,
reading.
you know better
it's
when you make these
reading-
personal attacks.
It's reading your tweets.
Okay.
It's reading
That's
your
not-
tweets or explaining why you're lying about things.
What have I ever lied about? Give me
When
give
you
me
went
one
on
example.
stream, you called me a liar and said that he said that this game is gay. He's okay with it being gay. He watched.
You
the
just
gay
said this now. You
scene.
said it's totally fine with you if people make woke games, which means it's totally fine. And you had said this to John Trent too. You're
said,
totally fine with
you
people
said I
making
watched the
transgender
Kingdom
games.
Come, you said I watched the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 gay scene and that I was all for it. That was your
I have
impression.
I have the tweet of that. That you
well,
actually
No,
posted.
the tweet is separate from what you referenced. You said I
No, it's
watched.
not.
It is separate. I'm sorry. You're finishing the audio there.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, of course, he made a video. I watched the video. He totally said a bunch of bullcrap about Smash and what Smash said. Then Smash made a video. He showed that he didn't say that. He actually showed what he said about that scene. And I want to add that I did watch that scene, and it's not gay graphic sex scene. I mean, it's a gay scene, but they just lay on the bed like they kiss. They start to, I mean, kiss
Smash has a
again.
clip of him reacting to that scene.
Yeah.
And he does not support that scene.
Yeah,
Also,
no one
like
is supporting it.
this comes back to the narrative that you have you have a 100+ hours game and one gay scene.
Yeah, which we will never
yeah.
see, but now the topic about that is very long. But the point is that John is pushing this narrative that this is very graphic scene. It's not actually very graphic scene because they're just like laying on the bed and the end of the scene it's like far away and they don't even move that much. They're just kissing basically. He can't even get to his butt from that position.
I mean, look, it's just the same thing. Should this scene exist?
No.
Like, you don't need that scene. Does it exist? Yes. Is it a mandatory scene? No. Is it a story changing scene? No. Do you need it in any way? No. So you can potentially, like, you can skip it. I've revealed that scene as well, and I made a reference to Mass Effect. Like, Mass Effect has a bunch of gay scenes, and the gay scenes are exactly the same as, like, they're not part of the story, they're part of the relationship portion of the game that you can discover. You can choose to be in an absolute asshole and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not genuine from these people, because scenes like that have existed. They don't break the game, and these guys are just doing it for one thing, as I mentioned, for the clout. They're doing it for the attention. And now this has transformed to what they're trying to do to Smash.
Yeah, I just tried to share my screen, so maybe now you can hear the audio. We're gonna try it.
Let's see.
That's an idea. Okay, playing.
Tweet is separate from the video.
I hear it.
The tweet is saying the game itself
Like,
is
a little
not
bit, like, wait. If you can turn up the volume, maybe.
Okay, gonna try. It's.
Oh, wait. I turned up my volume. Go for it.
Okay, playing.
gay. It's a gay optional sex scene in it that you do not need to do.
Yep.
The
Okay.
me watching
Optional.
the video.
We're back to optional gay sex is not woke. Okay.
The
Gotcha.
No. That's not.
The
That's not
video
fair.
that I was
That's not fair.
watching, when I was
It's not
just saying,
woke.
this is crazy. Like, I don't want
Come
this in my
on.
game. This
Is
this
it,
has no
let's
way-
do this.
I'll-
Is
I'll
Kingdom
tell the
Come
video,
Deliverance
look at
2 woke? Now that you know, can you state as yeah?
Sorry. Yeah.
It's not woke. Having optional gay scenes, it's not actually woke. It is accepted as a woke element, as a potential element for something else, like something more woke stuff to appear, and it is something that maybe sets the ground for wokeness. But in and of itself, fuck, why am I trying to explain logic when talking about people like this? People, we have had these kind of stuff for a long time. The only difference is we didn't have the trans stuff, the woke stuff, the woke movement stuff, the body. My body is like, my gender is a tree. I'm an Apache helicopter stuff. We didn't have that 10 years ago. Yes, we had gay stuff. Yes, because unlike the trans stuff, being gay is not actually something against nature or something, sexual preference, just like people who enjoy prefer butts towards breasts or something like that. It's a little bit more complicated, and yes, it is a deviation, but it's not a wokeness, because if you remember the OG stuff, like the OG gay people, they were nothing like the current gay people. And I continue to say that current gay people are like the modern gay people. They're overly flashy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
99% of them do it for attention and just because it's flash.
Yeah, also
I
there's
know
a lot
gay
of
people.
gay
I know
people
gay
that-
people.
yeah.
They don't want to be flashy.
Exactly.
Trust me.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of gay people that hate gay parades, hate the whole
Absolutely.
performance
they hate
of
the
it.
whole movement. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just want to be left alone, people. They just want to be people. They don't want to be special. They don't want to be woke. They're not woke. I've talked with gay people who swear and insult modern gay people more than me.
Yeah. So it has to be said that it's very important to make the distinction what is woke and what is not woke, because according to Jon Del Arroz, everything that is gay and black is woke, but actually gay stuff
Especially black.
themselves, or black people themselves, that's not, I mean, their inclusion, that's not woke by itself. It is the reason, the context behind why they are included in something and how they are presented in that particular media, game, whatever. That is what makes it woke or not woke. The context, the way that they are put in there, why, and all those things, how it is presented. Like Doctor Who, freaking woke, you know. This guy is on purpose
Doctor Who is woke,
replaced
yes.
with this black person who is gay. And all those things that they did to Doctor Who, there are tons. So in that context, that is gay. Now, before we had all the woke stuff, before like 2016, 13, whatever, when we had the gay characters, nobody said a thing because that wasn't a thing. Woke wasn't a thing. But when it's a gay character, it was just a gay character. They contributed to the story, for the most part, meaningfully, and nobody thought anything of it. Before we had all the movies with Will Smith, Wesley Snipes, so many black actors by this point. I can't even, think about.
Who else remembers what Nick Fury was before he became black?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's the ultimate Nick Fury, like the ultimate version. And Nick Fury before he became black. Does
Yeah.
anyone mind that aside
Race
from
swap.
Secret Wars and what else, that Samuel Jackson plays Nick Fury and that Nick Fury is portrayed as black? No, I don't, or I didn't like with the older comics, because Samuel Jackson played Nick Fury amazingly. He is Nick Fury. If you don't count the last movies, he's amazing. I don't mind that. Anyone? Like,
Yeah, I mean, in that case, it was a very good casting.
nobody minded the Black Jedi. Sorry to interrupt you. Nobody minded that there was a Black Jedi.
When it's done well, with meaning and substance, that's it. That does not make it woke. Now, if you change Superman to a black Superman, and you call him Kal-El because there is a black Superman, but he's not Kal-El, then that would be woke. That would be race swapping on purpose. That would be woke. So it's just very important to have context, and you can't just say that everything is woke just because that's not objective, and that's not actually how this whole thing came about to begin with, and how the word woke was formed. Okay, continuing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes or no that it's woke?
It's not a game that I would want to be pushing forward and promoting after what I found out from Barbara.
Well, thank you. Now, since I kind of had foresight in this and was reporting on this, and you called me Kotaku over this, do you regret doing that because I was kind of right about what I was saying about this?
No, because I feel like you jumped the gun on it without the actual information until we got it down the road.
But
it's almost like throwing a dart and you ended up being right. That doesn't
But I don't throw darts because...
Yeah.
No, just agreeing with Smash. Like, Jon Del Arroz is now trying to get credit that Daniel Vavra was indeed bending the knee. Okay, but he didn't know that. Nobody knew that. Like, there was disputes, but nobody knew that. And the game turned out great. And now he's trying to mark it as a win, where he basically just, as Smash said, threw a dart. It's like me throwing rocks randomly, and at a certain point after the 500th rock, I accidentally hit a squirrel. And then I say, I'm a marksman.
Yes.
I'm a sharpshooter. I intended to do that.
Bullseye.
Yeah, foresight. He doesn't have eyesight, let alone foresight.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Okay, continuing.
No. That's
Fox, let me and John talk, please. Go ahead, John.
That's a narrative right there, for sure. But we posted screen caps and receipts of the way Daniel Vavra used to act before Embracer Group and the way he acted after Embracer Group. You can make your decision from that. We concluded very easily that he's woke, that he started attacking people, calling them Nazis, alt-right, etc., and using the terminology of the left, which he did, which we've got screen caps of, which we posted.
But there was nothing leading up to it that led me to believe in the game it had any of that.
But he said before the game came out that he put a black person into Bohemia after he has another post saying there are no black people in Bohemia, and that's why I didn't put it there.
You have the right to feel that way about it. I'm not saying you can't feel that way.
He's just freaking evil. I mean, Smash is trying to say something. He's trying to say something. He just doesn't allow him to say anything. He's just like laughing, he's conniving, he's freaking has this evil freaking smile over there. Like,
look at him, he's a weasel.
I mean, I just want to say one thing. Before we continue. Yeah, like everyone that, like Jon Del Arroz, I want to just say this, like, guys, if you're supporting someone that has so little decency to allow his guest that he's benefiting from, I mean, to not speak, he doesn't, I mean, this is ridiculous. You have to realize that no good person, decent person, will behave this way towards another person. You may, I mean, if you are Jon and you don't like Smash, but you have integrity. You will allow Smash to talk. If you have nothing to hide, if you have the best arguments ever, you're going to address everything that Smash says directly, and you can answer honestly without even thinking about it, because you know that you're speaking the truth. And that is what Smash was probably hoping for, to have this really honest, direct conversation. But that didn't happen, of course. The point is, everybody that like Jon Del Arroz, I just wanna, just make you think, because if you really think that he's a decent person, he will allow Smash to talk. Like, period. It doesn't matter if they disagree on anything. He would allow him to talk, but he didn't. He interrupted him this whole time. He talked over him. He never let him complete his sentences, even like completely to make his point. No, that was just not happening, especially when they started here after the 56 minute to really talk about things. We are gonna see more and more how he's interrupting him and just laughing about it, and it's like being in school again and you're trying to speak sense into the bullies, but they're just making you feel like total crap and ignoring you and just talk over you. That's like disrespect one-on-one from school. It's one of the lowest things that you can do to another person. It's really disgusting. So whatever,
Thank you.
yeah, whatever opinions you may have of Smash or whatever, he will never do that to his guests, and he never did. He has more integrity in his little finger than Jon has, because that has been proven many times. You just have to judge without emotion and be objective. Just watch both creators, and you can really quickly tell who is genuine and who is not. Yeah, that's it. Really, I can rant about this the whole day, but yeah, that's really it.
By the way, JDA responded to your tweet with this life. I don't know if you see it.
Really?
Yeah. He's yeah.
I'm gonna check. Where is it? Aha, he did. Cornet? I wasn't even fighting. I hope he gets back on track. God bless. What? He has the audacity to say that he did not corner smash JT.
I mean, he's doing everything, like everything that for Cloud. And I was in the middle of typing something to report, like to reply to him. I'm not gonna, just because of that. Like, if I reply, this is going to be engagement for him. I'm trying to get everyone to understand. These people like Jon Del Arroz, don't fucking care. Smash JT did an oopsie here, and I think it's worth mentioning. He allowed his goodness and his integrity to drive him to maybe think that he can build a bridge and they can clear the air just a little bit. And if you take a look at the tweets, like at the Smash JT's tweet before going on Jon Del Arroz, everybody was wishing for that as well, and that was the purpose, to just go and have a good one-on-one talk. First of all, it wasn't one-on-one because this motherfucker, I'm sorry about that, had this chair-sitting cubo that is his only purpose, in my opinion, was to derail the conversation, in order to try and psychologically derail Smash from his train of thought, because that's what third wheels in this case do.
It's a tactic.
Because if it was only, if it was only Jon and Smash would have just ran him over 10 times. And you notice just from what we've watched that every time Smash tries to goes on a little bit of a roll, that guy intervenes, and you're like, yeah, he's trying to just undermine him. These people are so vile. Jon, I know you're listening, my not good and not friend. You are worse. I will repeat, WORSE. I hope you can spell, because you do pretend when you're not stealing someone's identity to write books. You are WORSE than Alyssa Mercante. She is above you. At least she's consistent when she's being evil. You're not even consistent with that. You're evil all around. She is better than you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, sometimes, and I'm not sometimes, actually, the hidden evil is more evil than the open evil because you don't know how and where it's gonna hit, you
Or
know.
he's not a hidden evil. He's just a spread fire evil. He's like a machine gun. He just goes and tries to stir up trouble just for the sheer. He's gonna go everywhere. He's gonna pick a fight with Burger King or McDonald's if it's
If it's for
if
clout.
it gets him views. If it gets him views, you know, if he
Yeah.
gets him engaged.
No, I mean that the way that he's wording things, the way that he's talking to his audience in general, the way that he is scripting his videos, everything is extremely manipulative, the language that he uses. So it's half-truths. And half-truths are a lot more dangerous than just straight out lies a lot of the times because even intelligent people can be misled if you I mean if they hear a particular information presented in this disingenuous way. So it's very dangerous what he does, psychologically speaking, really, to the audience. And if you're not a bit more, well, even more intelligent than a bit
I'm
normal.
legit getting angry, by the way. Legitimately getting angry at this point because I tried to watch this clip that you have on today. I managed to watch 5 minutes of it. I cannot.
We're not
Just-
given into the worst part yet.
Okay, you and I know each other for a long time.
Mm.
You know that I can pretty much tell people by how they speak, how they look at you when they speak. That's something that I like. I'm not bragging about it, but I can do that.
Mhm.
He has the persona, like JDA has the persona of someone who I would never willingly have in my circle. Never. You cannot pay me enough to have him willingly.
I mean, same for me. I usually feel literally people, and
Yeah.
a lot of people just have literally so much negative energy that you feel a barrier when you talk to them. You feel like you can cut the air. And that's very obvious if you actually have had the displeasure of speaking to such people that are so extremely disingenuous and they always have something to hide. They always have some kind of agenda hidden in all of those things. But okay, continuing with the video, we gotta get to the good stuff. I mean, by good stuff, I mean the horrible stuff.
Nasty stuff.
Yeah.
Just saying that until the more information came out about it that made it official, like, okay, there we go. Now for me, so we had different lines that
But
needed
there's
to
a
be
big
crossed to
different
get
thing,
there.
right? But you called me Kotaku, meaning I made something up and totally lied about it. That's a very different thing than like
As you
saying,
did.
okay, well, I don't agree with your conclusion. If you would have said that, we wouldn't be having this discussion. We'd probably actually just be friendly, and I'd be on Hypnotic, and there'd be no problem. But you
Yeah, Hypnotic also cannot stand him. But
Nobody can like, and he did lie. Like it turned out to be true, but at the time that he said it, it was a lie because there wasn't the information to support what he's saying. And yeah, he said it as a fact. And yeah, it turned out to be true. Okay, it turned out partially to be true. But again, at the time that he said it, it wasn't. It still wasn't. So he couldn't have known.
yeah, it's all for
So he
it's
basically
all
just
for
jumped in and
clicks.
presented facts that weren't confirmed.
Yeah, that's exactly my problem. How this whole thing started my awareness of Jon Del Arroz and this type of delivering the information. When you say something, it sounds like a fact, but it's actually your opinion. But you're not saying that's your opinion. You're saying that it's a fact. You're just presenting it this way, and it's just very manipulative way of speaking to
Yeah.
your audience. So it's normal to call it out because it really comes across. It's extremely disingenuous. And the fact that you may guess that. I mean, whatever you were talking about, the fact that you maybe will be right eventually doesn't actually excuse you from this way of speaking in general. Continuing.
went
I don't know
all
if I go
in
that far,
trying to
but-
call
But-
me.
but-
Yes, you would.
Let me bring up.
Look, there was an
let me bring up
objective
a-
here to destroy me over that. Absolutely.
No.
right?
If there's anything I'm gonna bring up that I'm very frustrated about, is something that transpired yesterday, and it'd be remiss of me not to talk about this. And I'm sure you knew I was going to bring this up. So,
Sure.
what do you have anything to say to Master of the TDS about how you approach the situation and talking about Nazis rounding up Jews, talking to a Jewish person that has been impacted by that in their lives, and how
He's
that
not
might
been
make them-
impacted by that in his life.
How do
There
you
are
know
literally no Nazis alive who have ever bothered him. because
How
there
do
are
you
no
know-
Nazis. There's no National
How do
German
you know he's
Socialist
not
Party.
related to a Holocaust survivor?
Oh my gosh, for real? We are all survivors, Smash
Yes.
JT. We are all survivors.
So you have no empathy for him on that.
I have empathy. I'm just a survivor of my Holocaust, so you should have empathy for
What?
me.
What? Okay, look at
What
Smash's face.
Holocaust was
and my
there?
face
Was
too.
there the biggest furry Holocaust somewhere that I wasn't aware about? Was the furry genocide not mentioned in the history books? What Holocaust? Apart
That
of you
is
being an absolute dishonest person and being called out for it.
how can you even say that? That is so ridiculous. I mean it's horrible because he's not only not having any sympathy, any understanding, he has no respect. I mean, I have a friend who I've known for years that is Jewish. He actually is still there in Israel. He went through the whole bombs that fell on their heads. Like he went through that the past few years. He was telling me directly what is happening, and how the bombs are falling and all those things. What is happening there, the atrocities, all of that. For the Jewish people, that's a wound. Whatever happened in the past is a huge wound for them. They still feel that. They still feel in this horrible way for what happened before and what is happening now. So for them, it's really something that is not to be taken lightly. To the very least, if he was here, he was gonna say that in the chat right now. So to talk like that, it is extremely disrespectful to say that he is going through his own Holocaust when we know very well what happened there, how people were dying in horrible ways. Like, how can you say that? I mean, those are human beings. It doesn't matter even who was that, but in general, whoever it was, they were dying in horrible freaking ways that are so horrific that we are still remembering that, and we will never forget that. I mean, through our whole history,
Just
so
go forward. Like this
disgusting.
is.
Yeah, I'm going.
Thank you.
I'm going.
Yeah, there's no, there
So you
haven't
don't
been.
feel, you don't have any remorse for what you said about that to him?
No, because I didn't
Here
attack
Smash
him. I wasn't
basically
rude to
does
him.
the best journalist thing that you can say, like the actual journalist. Like you're saying that you're not, and he confirms, like basically just doubles down. And Smash just goes without, like, he doesn't go out of his way to retort. You're saying that and this is a master move, by the way. Props to Smash to that, because basically JDA just digs his hole here and buries himself in it.
Yeah.
I just said, hey, you very clearly are choosing sides and pretending you're not choosing sides. And it's very obvious with the way that you're handling things. And I take exception to that. And I didn't call him names. I was not rude to him. And
You
he
don't
and
feel
he
like you
decided to get
crossed the line?
performative and quote tweet and then block me. And so I knew where he stood. I just got him to come out with where he stood for real. And I don't regret that at all. So was I harsh to him? Yeah, I was a little harsh. So yeah, his grandfather was a Holocaust survivor. Well, congratulations. So
That's not for congratulations, man.
Congratulations, his grandfather and his relatives. Congratulations. Yeah, that is how you know. Like when someone tells that without blinking an eye, you can see how their mind works.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
see how they. He doesn't care.
Absolutely.
He
Yeah.
doesn't care about people.
And what he said actually was, I mean, it was so stupid as well. This false equivalency, and master of the TDS, he's actually his friend for years. And he said the fact that you respond to me like this after everything I did for you, it's shameful. I went into people's DMs to advocate for you. I got on the phone with you. I stayed quiet when others talked about you and gave an opinion. I tried to help you fix this. I encourage people to sit down with you, but instead of owning your mistakes and working to rebuild trust, you kept digging. Then somehow you turned and blamed me, even though I was one of the few actually defending you. This isn't a cancel mob. This is the result of your own behavior. The problem isn't your beliefs, it's your refusal to reflect, your inability to meet others halfway, and your disregard for how your actions affect those who stood by you. If being friends with both sides isn't acceptable to you, then you've already made the choice. We're done. I will let your response to my simple request slide, but I can't ignore the pattern anymore. Do what you want. Just know you're doing it without my support moving forward.
And he's not the only one. A lot of people basically platformed, tolerated, tried to defend Jon Del Arroz and George and other, just because, yeah, they had, oh my god, they had the integrity of just saying, yeah, okay, he might be a little off the hook and might be a little more leaning like more radical, but yeah, I think he means well when and it comes from a good place. That's what a lot of people thought. I thought that. I was someone who thought that before January of this year or February, where things started to unravel, where the wokeness suffered a mighty blow, like coinciding with the Trump being elected. Like we were still on the same, like I don't want to say same side, but we were still fighting for freedom. We were fighting for freedom, for gaming, of pop culture, of everything. And yeah, John and George Torch, they were a little bit more radical at times, and like John F. Trent as well. Like his videos kind of try to insert the whole Christ is King, like throughout their videos and everything. But I was still referencing fandom posts in my videos because they have a lot of well-written articles, and it was against wokeness, against true wokeness, against the forceful inclusion of these characters, against the censorship that was coming from the left, and these guys were alongside us fighting against the left. Once that wasn't the immediate threat, they immediately said, okay, now that they're down, we're going to impose our own rules, our own censorships, only religious stuff, no gooning, no any whatever. There is no room for anything else but what we say. And
Yeah.
basically, they were saying the same thing that the left were saying, just on the right. That's why I call them the woke right.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think that the whole thing is because they are not at all genuine about anything. The moment they are benefiting from something else, whatever that is, whatever ideology that is, they're just gonna jump on that. They don't care. They're defending whatever they want for clicks. It's not because they really believe those things. It's just because they just wanna use the bandwagons.
Yep.
Everything is about money. Nothing is about being genuine. Like, I don't think they care at all. So this is the tweet on the screen that I just put out. The
Yeah.
tweet that started everything. So you kept quiet while these guys let the cancel mob and won't stop. These are toxic, evil trolls who are pushing LGBTQ propaganda and trying to damage right-wing creators. It's kind of like keeping quiet when the Nazis are rounding up the Jews because you got a couple German friends. Yeah, I mean, that is so ridiculous. That is
That is a tweet designed to engage, and look at the numbers.
yeah,
That
a
is a
lot.
tweet designed to engage. That is a tweet without anything else but that intent, and that's all they do. That is what they do.
Yeah, it's just like make a super outrageous, horrible statement, like twist and turn it, and yeah, get the clicks. So he doesn't care about his friends, so he has no integrity or honesty or anything morals. Like what is morals? I mean, to him, nothing, I guess. Okay, continuing. Just say, yeah, continuing.
Yeah,
But
I think that people have I think a lot of people have a tough time. In fact, I debated this in the New York Post about 10 years ago. You know, the Holocaust is now farther away than the Boxer Rebellion was at the time of World War II.
Right.
Nobody under a certain age cares anymore. And
Well, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. So we're supposed to just forget
So
about the atrocities?
yeah. We're supposed to just not acknowledge something like this. Okay. Let me ask uh, the Americans in the chats, and I don't mean disrespect. How many years will it take to forget 9/11?
Mm,
If what this guy says is valid? I just want to know an answer about that, because he says, "Oh, not a certain number of people don't care." Okay, let me say, in 5 years, will it be okay to just say, something like 30 years ago or whatever? Yeah, doesn't sound very good, does it?
No. I mean, we
Yeah,
were under Turkish freaking slavery for 500
yeah.
years, so we cannot
500
forget
years
that.
old. What? Yeah. Well, no, a lot of people do tend to forget that, if you check out our government. But
That's another
again,
topic. Yeah. I mean, the
yeah, that's a
people.
whole other topic. But I want to say, like, you have one of the like deadliest things that have happened since the beginning of the 21st century. How long? Like, maybe it Rivalkyrie says it is a wound to the nation. Yeah, sure. 6-10 million Jewish people killed and tortured, being in camps and stuff like that. And I'm not dispelling any other type of misdeeds, and I'm not saying that these misdeeds should shape every sort of action, because there is a difference. However, you don't get to insult people over that, like,
Yeah.
especially when you have direct descendants and still have people suffering from that. And I'm not saying this to completely defend what's currently happening in the Middle East, because there's a lot of different things, but history is to be learned and to be respected.
Yeah, and plus, if you're a respectful person, if you have any integrity at all, you will not bring this up ever. To begin with, you just not. You just
Yes.
not go there
Yes.
at all. It never will cross your mind. You would just, be direct and talk about something else. You address the person that you like to address in a very different manner, but definitely not like that. And he did that on purpose because he knew that.
Of course, because it would get engagement. It would get us talking
Yeah,
about
but
it.
the more disgusting thing is that he really wanted to hurt his friend. He really wanted
Yes.
to hurt TDS, and that's why
Yes.
he said it, which is it's just even worse. He could just say that he does not agree that TDS is also Osmas JT or whatever. He can just say that, I don't like that idea or whatever. But no, he addressed something exactly where it hurts. I mean, that's what he
Yes.
did. It was absolutely intentional. Okay, continuing.
And I understand that some people do, but most people don't. And especially as the world becomes less and less Eurocentric, talking to expecting the Chinese to care about a couple million people being killed in Europe when they killed 50 million of their own people much more recently is just not it's not the rhetorical club that it used to be with the baby boomers. And I think
when
that
he called
people
me an
sometimes
anti-Semite on his video this morning, which is hilarious, I gained followers because people are just like, oh, if he's doing this, he's a leftist. I mean, you really are way off the mark trying to go and
Not about
you did
gaining
this last time too
followers
when
or
I
losing
did KDC
followers,
two and I
dude.
was pointing out the black person in KDC two. You went, John's a racist. You literally called me racist.
Yeah, I
And I'm like,
do
oh
believe,
my
based off of
gosh,
your tweets, I
wow.
believe you're a racist. I believe you're an anti-Semite. I believe all these things about you based off of your own
Holy
tweets.
crap, Jeff! Really? Come on,
Yes.
just stop acting like that. That's the whole problem. If you knocked that kind of thing off about me, about Razor Fist, it's like everybody who seems to be a right-wing creator in this content
John,
and
you need
stuck
to
to
be
the video
accountable
games.
of your own actions. These are
We
your
are.
own tweets.
Because I don't
Yes.
care.
You're not
I don't
taking
hold a
accountability
value
for
that
anything.
racism is a sacred cow that I should care about.
Okay, so I think he just, I mean,
He owned himself.
this is he's like he first saying he gained followers. Oh, it's amazing. I said something bad and I gained followers. I'm so great. I'm the best man ever. And then he's like, oh, I don't care about racism. Who cares? I can be whatever I want. I will gain followers. Basically, that is what he means.
Yeah, I'm gonna be everyone's buddy as long as I remain as long as I gain followers and I gain money. That's his whole worldview. That is the way he operates.
Absolutely. I had
And
to.
I'm not saying this to just spite and insult him. I'm saying this as fact.
Yeah. Just want to
By the way,
say,
I wrote you on
oh,
Discord just so you know.
okay.
Sorry to keep you from that, but I will need to go in a bit. So
Okay. I just want to say hi to the Zen bro in the chat, the fellow creator, who is also into all of this, and he knows he covers a lot. Go check his channel, guys. He's absolutely amazing. His videos are perfect, basically. Okay, do I have to check because I don't know how to check without screwing everything, the whole setup. What you wrote in the chat, I mean. Okay, hold
what do
on.
you mean?
And the Discord chat. Okay, hold on. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
just
check my
telling you
phone.
that I need to go
Okay.
because things are happening and I need to
Okay,
be
I
in
checked. I
certain
checked. Okay.
places.
Okay. I know that you're getting the reaction, the allergic one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I get it.
Sorry about that. Thank you for having me, by the way. I'm sorry it was for a little bit.
Thank you.
Just to tell my final words, sorry. I hope you get through this in one piece because I couldn't. I truly couldn't. I wanted to be off of all of this. But guys, whoever's watching, having integrity and having the decency to give people a chance is not a weakness. So if you view Smash JT as a weak person or as someone who got owned, then you should probably, in my opinion, review your moral compass. Smash JT got basically into an uneven fight. He held himself well, and I'm sure he won't make the same mistake with people like that again.
Yeah, they don't deserve this chance because they always try to turn it
No,
against whoever is the guest next
they
time,
do
you
not.
know.
I do hope that you get through it. I wish you a lovely stream, Empress. Thank you for having me again. Thank you for everyone that is here. I see a lot of tags in the chat. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
See you soon. Cheers and stay fresh.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, we are continuing with this stream on our own now. We're gonna check, of course, the rest of this. Smash JT drops off somewhere into the conversation, so we're not gonna be able to. I mean, we're not gonna have to watch the whole thing, thank God. Mostly of what we got thus far are one of the most shocking things. Just let me remove that Discord window. So let's continue, guys, now with the horrible things.
And that's the thing. That's what the left wants. They want us all to be bowing to this racism nonsense so that they can have a little
No, it's common
whatever.
decency. It's
Common
human respect for another person.
Exactly. I'm sorry to cut it off right here, but it's what we were trying to point out, that he doesn't have common decency to just have a tact, tact, and just to not address certain things that he knows very well that are hurtful to certain people. Just be more, well, tactful and self-aware as well. Just decent, yeah. But he's doing that on purpose. He's laughing about it. He doesn't care. That's how bullies act in school. I know how that feels. I was bullied a ton in school, so for me, this is just like bullying tactics one-on-one, and being disingenuous and just pretending that he's the cool guy at the schoolyard, and Smash JT in this case, like, oh, the loser, ha ha ha, because I already know everything, I have the answers to everything, and you don't know nothing. We're going to just destroy you in the stream now, haha. It's great that you took our invitation, so now let's see what happens. So basically, it's like that, literally. You can see that.
Not talking about
racism.
I'm not talking about controlling people or censoring people. I'm just saying, like, to
You
have
are,
a
though.
common decency
You
for
want to
someone.
control people and be like, John's a bad guy. You should very much not listen to him because he's an anti-Semite. That is the conclusion of your
Dude, you
video. that
doubled
just
down
posted.
on your message to Master TDS when I gave you the opportunity to talk about it here.
What
You're just like,
message to
no.
him? My message to him is like, he hangs out with some bad people who are obviously leftists, who like to use the racist anti-Semite crap just like everybody else, and are doing the same thing to right-wing creators that
Your
Kotaku's
message
done to right-wing
your
creators. This
message
entire
said
and what
it's
surprises me
your
is
message
you've
said
had
it's
this
time.
done
Well,
to
let's get
you
the
over
message
and
out
over
there.
by Alyssa Mercante
Hold on, let's
and
get the message
others,
out there
and yet you're
so that
doing it to
people
other
know.
people. Why would you do that?
You said it's kind of like keeping quiet when the Nazis are rounding up the Jews because you got a couple of German friends, yeah?
Yes.
To
is.
to a Jewish person. You don't
Yes. It's,
there's
yes.
no you don't have any like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. That's probably not the right thing to say to that person. You don't have any.
I would say it's harsh, but it doesn't. It's not out there. No. Like
It is so out there. I mean, it's common knowledge that you're not supposed to talk like that to a Jewish person. It's so disgusting, so disrespectful. Like everybody knows that. It's common knowledge, and to pretend that it's not, and somehow he didn't cross a line. Oh, sorry, you did it. That was your friend. So it's even more disgusting. And Decembro says he's so pathetic. Any disagreement or calling out his stupidity is canceling to him. Yes, well, he can turn around, and I mean, he twists everything that Smash was trying to say. He twists, turns. He doesn't allow him to really speak his mind. He can't actually address directly what Smash is putting down. You know, he's just deflecting like this, literally all the time. But it's absolutely obvious that this is extreme hubris, and it's freaking evil.
why should I held that as a sacred cow I'm not allowed to talk about? I mean that's ridiculous.
Just to be respectful of someone, I guess.
Okay.
Like that's like saying like, why should I be respectful to you? Like I'm
Okay.
on here.
Well, you're
oh,
not.
just on here?
I mean, yes, correct. You aren't respectful to me.
He is though. Smash is respectful to you, because if he wasn't, he can say a lot more, but he is holding his tongue all the time, and you can see that. And he's not the one that is cutting others from speaking. He's not the one that's trying to cut you out from speaking, but you're doing that all the time.
I don't feel like
you
you're
made
respectful
video
to
after
me. I
video,
don't really-
right?
I feel like if anything, I'm being extremely respectful. I think if anything, you're the one that's being very disrespectful to not
You
just
called me a
but
racist
everyone.
live on air just now.
Yes.
Have I
believe
called
you're
you a
racist.
name? Have I called
But
you a name?
Have
Smash,
you called me a name?
Smash.
No. Yes.
What, Smash,
No.
what you don't
No, you.
Smash,
It's there in his tweets, okay? That's what Smash is trying to say, that he's already doing this. It's out there. You know, it is out there. The Zermo says the most annoying part is that it makes me want to respond, but at the same time I know he's doing that for engagement. So whatever people do respond, it plays into his BS. Exactly. And he did respond to me. He said corners, because the title of the stream is cornered. Yes, he did corner Smash JT. I'm not making this up. He did corner him, literally corner him, like the definition of what you're doing when you want to put someone into a corner. Because he was supposed to be alone with Smash and talk with Smash, and this guy was not supposed to be there. He invited this guy without telling Smash, and they both cornered him. That's exactly what happened. So Jon Del Arroz now on Twitter is saying, cornered. I wasn't even fighting. I hope he gets back on track. God bless. I hope he gets back on track. He's fine. You're the one that is disingenuous, disgusting person here. Smash is very, very well on track. He's more successful than you. He's more successful than a lot of people, especially in that space. And that's for a good reason. He's actually trying to deliver the news as they are, not say things as they aren't. I mean, he's just delivering the news how they look like, but he's not like wording things to sound as facts when they're not. He has very clear way of expressing himself. Continuing.
you don't
I'm
under
talking about your actions on
That's freaking
X.
ridiculous.
Smash, you don't understand how ridiculous your rhetoric
Why
is.
is
What rhetoric? So if he says rhetoric, then it's make it all good and well, and it makes sense because he's using the word rhetoric. Remember that, guys. He's so intelligent now. So you just don't know. You're just not that intelligent. So he used the word. He's great.
You-
why
you
is
don't-
Ross
you don't even know-
here? I thought
Because
you didn't
this
tell
is
me
a-
that- you didn't tell
because
me
this
there was
is
gonna be a
my
third person here, John.
because this is
kinda
my
weird.
show, Smash.
Like,
You know,
This is
I've
my
let
show.
problem
this go
just
the whole
talking?
time, but this is so weird to have this guy just jumping in
ridiculous.
and talking over everyone. Like I thought this was going to be a one-on-one with me and you talking about it.
We're
I
just
know.
having we're just having
Yeah.
what was there a problem? I mean, it's like the thing is like
No,
what-
I feel
It is the same thing. I mean, I went through this through my life. I mean, literally, again, that's how a bully talks. You say that he does not give you a fair shot to speak, and he's like, "Is there a problem? Is there a problem?" Like, he pretends that nothing is happening, that he is not cornering him. He pretends that he is giving him a fair chance to speak, but he isn't. Clearly isn't. And the designer says, and when he makes mistakes, he owns up. He owns up to. Yes, he's owns up it, and genuinely looks like a normal, chill dude. Yes, sorry about I read this wrong, but I'm just so much in a hurry. He owns up to it. Yes, sorry, but yeah, I get what you're saying, because when Smash GT did make the mistake about that source and all those things a few months ago, he explained himself, and everything was clear. It's it's bound to happen sometimes, but he's gonna be more careful now. He's learning, and he's absolutely transparent about what's actually going on. Well, thanks, Valkyrie. Thanks.
Like, we need to talk about this, and I almost feel like I'm getting ganged up on because I'm trying to have a conversation with you. I don't know.
I don't feel like there's a gang up on it all. So we have the situation where.
So he doesn't feel like a ganged up at all. Yes, because nobody is ganging up on you. You brought your freaking friend there. Like, how non-professional also. Not only not objective and not moral person you have to be to invite a guest and then invite someone else without telling that guest and be like, now we're gonna have this conversation between the three of us. No, we're supposed to be two. So that is wrong. And second, allow Smash J to speak then. If you're so not afraid and always right and all those things, just allow him to speak then. Like, directly respond to his questions.
It was a deal where I didn't like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You called me Kotaku and said I was lying. That means I'm lying. That means I'm an untrustworthy journalist because I said that game was woke. I pointed out with facts. I showed screenshots of Daniel Vavra changing his tune to appease the woke at the time. You ignored that. You said you didn't see any evidence. It's fine. If you don't believe that there's evidence, you didn't need to personally attack my journalistic integrity when I actually was presenting evidence and presenting an argument.
Of integrity, clearly.
Yeah, I verify stuff. You go out and call Razor Fist all this stuff without ever doing this. Correct. We do have different standards, and you should apologize.
Bro, the things you just said to Master of TDS yesterday tell me all I need to know about you.
Yeah.
What did I say to Master of the TDS? Did I call him a name?
That doesn't mean that he didn't cross a line. So only calling a name is bad, but whatever he said directly is not. I mean, directly, Jesus, is not bad when this is the worst thing that you can say to a Jewish person. Great.
You were very, very unhinged. We'll just say. Let me bring up the other one because there's another one too. Hold on a second.
Sure. Are you going to apologize to Razor Fist for willingly and knowingly knowing that he did not commit some crime that you alluded to him doing?
You see what he's doing? So he's claiming that Smash JT knows, he knew that Razor Fist didn't do anything, but he still went with the information, which is not true. Absolutely not. He was just presenting whatever information he had at the time. That's it. He didn't knowingly know that Razor Fist didn't do anything because he wasn't there. And nobody was there to know. Jesus Christ. Yeah, willingly and knowingly he didn't. He covered Kido's stream. Yeah, Jon is such an ass snake. Yep. Exactly.
I mean, this is where it comes from.
I said it looks really bad. And I also
but you also know it's false. Do you know it? You do understand that it is false, right? And it's very obviously false.
So he was in Smash JT's head, and he understood. He knew in that moment. He knew that Smash JT knew that Razor Fist was innocent, but he still ran. Okay, I mean, yeah, serious journalist. No, I mean, my pillow is a better journalist than him. Anything it is.
I also already said at the beginning of this that I'm sorry if he got the wrong impression of me reacting to a video.
Do you believe that it was false, or do you believe that there's evidence that shows this?
I believe that there's evidence on both sides. I believe it's a he said, she said situation.
Really?
I don't know who to believe with it, honestly.
This is the whole problem. You equivocate on all this stuff. We present evidence. You say it's not woke because it's popular.
So now
that it's popular, you say, oh, well, now we know.
Hold on.
You were just throwing darts. I was not throwing darts. I did the research.
I'm not.
And I did a lot of work and research. Come on, man.
So his ex had evidence. He had evidence. It is a he said, she said. Just because you're friends with them doesn't make him right. That's my point. That's an actual journalist would look at it like that.
Exactly. By the way, Dizermo, if you want to join the stream, I can put you in through Discord with audio. If you like, we can do that. I'm gonna send you my Discord on Twitter if you like. Just let me know in the chat.
You have a very biased perspective right now where you're like, oh, it's Razorfist. Look, he provided
Everybody
all
has
this
a bias.
evidence.
Your biased perspective is to attack Christian conservative creators. I mean, that's what you've been doing
Your
constantly.
biased perspective is to attack Jewish people.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeff, so hold
Why
on.
is that funny?
Wow, if that was not evil laugh, I don't know what was. Look at that, it's crazy. It's literally maniacal.
I asked this question earlier.
Because you have no idea who
hold
we
on,
work with.
Are you Jewish?
Why does it matter if I'm Jewish?
It doesn't. You just have to have common sense.
Can you answer?
Why does it matter? Can you
Because
answer?
because you brought it
Because
up.
you brought it up.
I'm
Are you
bringing up
Jewish?
Master the TDS.
They're totally like twisting the conversation right now.
And what you said to him.
You called me an anti-Semite in a
Yes.
video earlier today. So you are Jewish.
You said you kept quiet these days leading
Jeff,
up to
why
get
can't
him off these
come on,
questions.
dude? If you can't
It's
answer
kinda
if you're
like you were
Jewish or not,
quiet.
what is wrong? I can answer. I am not Jewish. It's not that hard. Like, can you answer whether you're Jewish or not?
I am not Jewish.
Okay, thank you.
Why
Why
does it
did you do
matter if
that
I'm
then?
Jewish or not? Like
I'm just curious.
I'm so confused by why people keep asking me if I'm Jewish or not, because I'm looking at the things you say and I'm just like,
Because you're
that's,
calling people anti-Semites and ranting about the Holocaust. It's just kind of weird. Like nobody cares.
dude,
I don't have Discord, I just sent you. Definitely set up one though. It seems like I needed if people begin inviting me on streams. Thank you though. Yeah, that's how we can connect on our stream as well when we do that. So yeah. Well, I did send you the Discord. You can just make your Discord. Don't need to make a server, just make a Discord. We can connect very easily there. Yeah.
you don't think saying to someone who is Jewish, keeping quiet when the Nazis rounding up the Jews because you got a couple German friends is not? You think that's
What's that
totally
have to-
normal to say that?
Well, so yeah, I was saying that there's a lady named Gina Carano, you might remember.
And now he's deflecting with Gina Carano. Amazing. I mean, directly address the point. Directly. Don't talk about someone else. Jesus Christ.
Who said that Republicans are being treated like the Jews were in Nazi Germany, and she got fired over this. I was using that exact same tactic because I'm getting attacked. I kind of feel like a Jew in Nazi Germany. I didn't make any value statement about the Jews. I said I kind of felt like one in that situation here, right? And so that's what Gina Carano said.
How can you say that you felt like one? You don't know how that feels. You don't know how that feels. Jesus Christ. I just can't. I mean, we can only imagine how horrible it felt and all those things. We can only imagine, but Jewish people, they still living in hell, to a big extent. So to say something like that, when they, a lot of them don't really have normal lives like we do, it is absolutely, I don't know. It just, I can't even, I mean, okay, continue, because there's not enough words to describe the hubris and the evilness in this.
Disney fired her over it. You literally did the same thing and literally went and tried to cancel me and called me an anti-Semite over the exact same thing Gina Carano went with Disney, the evilest corporation ever, and you did the exact same narrative. That's what I just caught you doing.
A victim mentality here. That's
did
not
it.
what you did at all.
I didn't say I was a victim. I don't care. But it happened.
John, did you know the guy was Jewish in the first place?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
The guy was his friend, by the way, and this Vox Day doesn't even know. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know a lot about Jon Del Arroz. Yeah, he's also been fed a ton of lies, and he's sitting there pretentiously in his chair, and he thinks that he got God by the coat. That's an expression, but yeah. It means that he thinks very highly of himself without any basis for that.
I thought that was pertinent.
Yeah. See, the things, I'm pretty transparent and honest about everything.
So would you have said that
and Jeff,
to him?
it's like I try to ask you something and you can't direct. Notice you're like, does inserting a black person into a game, does that make it woke? And it's like, well, it depends on the context, right? What about LGBT? And I say, yes, that makes it woke. I can answer these things right away because I don't even have to think about them because I have nothing to hide. But every time I ask you a question, it's like,
I clip freaking Smash JT to talk. Jesus Christ. And Logan says, I'm sure that Gina Carano would kick his ass if she hears all the crap coming out of his mouth. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Oh,
It depends.
It's like, so Razor Fist did not, I will unequivocally say, Razor Fist did not commit a crime and cause any problems. It's very
You
obvious.
don't
We've
know
seen
that.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He wasn't there in his personal life between the sheets. He wasn't there, okay?
Yes, we do know that.
No, you're just believing what he says. You
Well, we
don't know
don't-
for sure.
But well, I mean,
I
we
don't know.
we
You
know
didn't
that-
kill Jews in Nazi Germany. I mean, you might have some Jews in your basement. Like, it's possible.
What? I mean, there's actual recordings at least of what happened with this guy, Razor Fist. Actual recordings of stuff. Where to say, I mean, this is false equivalency, what he just said. That maybe Smash had. Whatever. Ridiculous.
Why do you?
I'll
say
make a
these-
video on it. Like,
Why
and
do
that's
you
the
say
that's
these
my
things?
comment, because
This is
it's
so weird.
absurd. That's what
it's
your
because
videos
it's
are.
rhetoric, and the rhetoric gets you to react. Smash. This is what
Correct.
this is what Aristotle wrote about. This is
Do you
what
understand what rhetoric is?
Oh, he's so intelligent. Rhetoric, Aristotle. So definitely Smash JT has this amazing genius way of speaking and he's trying to manipulate everyone. Wow, they're applying all kinds of manipulation rhetoric right now. Yeah, all kinds of ways of speaking. They're just applying that to the audience, to Smash JT. Smash JT is like, what the hell, man? This is disgusting and all of that. Yeah, Aristotle. Yeah, he knows him, you know. He was there probably with him. Yeah, he lived with him. he knows Aristotle. He's yeah, amazing, so intelligent, so just profound. Those guys, amazing. We are blessed to be in their presence, guys. Look at that.
I don't understand what the hell. Okay, let's move on because
Okay.
we're not going to get any with it.
I'm
Tell me
just
about-
making it.
tell me
So
about
you
your
make
porn
videos.
ban
You make
situation. What do you
You make
wanna do with-
videos.
Let me know what
You
you,
make
want to do with
videos
the porn.
slandering people personally.
Dude, you do the same
and-
damn thing. Don't
No, I
try to don't do that. Don't do that.
I do not at
Stop
all.
it.
I
Stop it,
talk
John.
about the
John,
topics.
John.
I do
stop
not at
it.
all.
John, stop it, John.
What
you talk
where,
about banning
where-
porn. You talk about
Okay.
banning porn.
ban porn? Yes.
What
correct.
is porn?
Yeah, let's discuss what exactly is that.
What is porn? Porn
Yeah.
is graphic sexual acts depicted for a titillating whatever. So
And you know that scene in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was not even that. I mean, you don't see where the PP goes or whatever. You don't see that. You just see a blurred, long, like from a distance shot of those guys on the bed. I mean, that shouldn't be in the game. Again, that shouldn't be in the game. It doesn't have anything. I mean, shouldn't be there in the first place. But the point is that he still made it so much worse, made it look so much worse than it actually was. He still blew it out of proportion and called it totally graphic and horrible stuff. You want graphic, you want Spartacus. I mean, you watch Spartacus, the TV show. You're gonna see a lot of gay, straight, I mean, direct gay sex there. Yeah, you're gonna see that. And when you least expect it as well. So let's compare, because there's nuance, there's levels of horrible.
So you disagree with Melanie Mack on that?
what what is Melanie Mack's alleged stance on this? I
You
don't know.
you really don't know.
Uh,
With the
I,
whole
what are
Goonergate
we
kicking
talking
off
about?
with the first descendant with the girl dancing in the bikini.
so do I think first descendant? Or so you're asking me if I think the first descendant scene with the bikini is porn? Is that
Mhm.
what you're asking directly?
Correct.
No, I don't.
Okay, so you disagree with her fundamentally on that.
I think it's tacky. It's definitely. Well, we can probably agree it's
Now he's trying to deflect again and not directly say that he disagrees with her. This Ambrose says, why are you talking about PP? I thought they were talking about corn. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that John wants to push this, that what we saw in that game was super graphic, but it wasn't. Just it wasn't. Yeah, exactly, December. Yes.
tacky, right?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay, that's what I said. And actually, what I tweeted was, I think it's tacky. And it is not pornography, and I wouldn't ban that. No.
Okay,
So-
but
I mean, I personally don't care, you know, if it's aesthetic, if it looks good. Women can be sexy in games. I mean, I would play these games. It's fine. You know, stuff like that, how they create characters in the Asian games, whatever. It's beautiful for most of the yeah. It's beautiful. It's kind of funny, you know, jiggle physics and all that's funny. It looks cool. It looks it's pretty funny. It was funny when I was growing up. It's still funny. It's still funny. It's like it's fun. It's entertainment. Like everybody is taking it like this. So it's not the same when you see real people doing stuff and when you see animated character on screen doing stuff. But still, in that context, how characters are shown with their sexy butts or whatever, in like short skirts, short pants, who cares? They look great. Yeah. The December says there's very clear line when it's bad taste and when it's not. Exactly. Thank you. And we can even see that separation in the industry. PlayStation, Xbox do not platform actual core content. Yes, yes. So these people complaining about First Descendant and Marvel Rivals is ridiculous. Yes, absolutely, it's ridiculous. Those characters, they just look very good.
you do want to ban games with porn and just porn in general. You want no
Correct.
porn in the world.
Correct, because it is harmful, and it's actually based upon slave labor out there, which is a bunch of human trafficking involved, which is a
I mean,
terrible
I could
thing for the
argue
industry.
a lot of jobs are based on slave labor, but
Yeah, and I think Trump will fix it. Don't worry, we're trying to work on that with tariffs. So
Yeah, now, actual corn, it is psychologically proven to be harmful. But how games are made and always have been made, it's totally fine. So yeah.
So you have called random games pornography in the past, even though the rating boards exist. Do you?
I have.
I would imagine, like, because porn exists in games, so I would imagine. Maybe you haven't, but
Okay.
maybe there aren't any porn games that exist.
I don't play a lot of that stuff like that
Mhm.
would go there. So I mean,
So why does it matter to you?
Why does it matter to ban porn?
Yeah.
Because pornography is destroying our culture and it's making people just into complete idiots. It actually rewires your brain scientifically and causes a lot of problems for the human race. So it also
Okay.
pushes the pornography also leads to these degenerate LGBTQ lifestyles that are getting increasingly weirder and causing more problems for society. And it all stems from porn. So
I would fundamentally disagree with that. I'd agree with the premise of that, but I don't think it stems from porn.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, scientifically speaking, corn is very harmful. Yeah, as I said, there's a lot to be said there. But they're not gonna get into that now. But yeah, this is the only thing that John said that actually has merit. It makes sense and it's actually based on actual facts from science. But other than that, you can always take something and just, again, twist and turn it, make it fit it into your own narrative. That's another topic. Like I said, half truths sometimes are a lot more dangerous than straight up lies. Maybe furries in the December says maybe furry. Lucario? Calm? Oh, I don't know that. Oh, thank God I don't know that. It is what broke GTA's brain into thinking the Holocaust is cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. I actually did see a documentary to learn more about furries. And it turns out, because you're joining the stream a bit late, the December of that, 89, over 89% of all furries, maybe you actually know that, but I'm just gonna say it for everybody else that didn't hear it, 89% or over that, all male guys, I mean, that participate are gay. There's almost no one that's straight there. And they do have some issues, I mean, psychological issues to do that. Maybe it looks, I don't know what, like a cosplay from the outside, but it does have a lot of fetish behind it. I mean, I think a lot of people know that, but yeah, it is a ton of fetishes. Yeah, fetish there. So it's not something that a completely mentally sound, completely okay with themselves, confident, sexually healthy person would actually be into, literally. It is a way to cope, basically, which, of course, everybody has their different ways of coping, but that's literally very deep, and it's actually quite disturbing. So no, I haven't been into that Lucario thing. You have a good time laughing about it? Okay, please share it. Please just send it to me on X. I will be very grateful. I will take a look. Continuing.
Well,
Um,
that's what I believe.
oh,
So,
that's fair.
and
That's
you
fair.
could see
I
that
just
with the
I just look at
proliferation of pornography, though, there is a correlation, though, isn't there? That these things have proliferated crazier and crazier and crazier, also,
I
right?
mean, there's cool. You could say that about just because of the modern era, there's a connection to this. It's I have not done a
Well,
scientific
what's
study.
the hallmark of the modern era that was proliferate? It was pornography, right?
I mean, over the years, there's been whorehouses. There's been sexually promiscuous women throughout the ages. Nothing's
And
really.
all of that was hidden off, and it was shamed, and it was not accepted by mainstream society at all.
I don't know about ancient Rome. Would agree with that one.
Yeah, ancient Rome was degenerate, right? So, and that's why Christianity took over, because
You don't actually have to go anywhere in the ancient times to make your argument make any sense. They were just supposed to address today's times. That's enough. You don't actually have to go in the past. So GDAO is trying to deflect again and just put the conversation in places where he wants the conversations to be. And that's it. He doesn't want directly to talk about particular things. He makes false equivalences and irrelevant points, basically.
became debaucherous, became soft, and it needed Constantine to save it. So, correct.
So you want to ban porn? How does that make you any different than what you're fighting against?
Because pornography is bad, and what they're advocating for is also bad. So I advocate for good. That's the difference.
But
Good
do you
good and evil.
understand? Do you understand it's really just two sides of the same coin when you're looking to ban things? Because
No, that's a lie. Banning things is a tool. How it's used is the problem, right? And so, would you like banning the knees on your channel is a bad thing because that was misuse of the tool. Banning, let's say, remember that guy who like went on was it Geeks and Gamers or Friday Night Tights and dropped trow and all that? Banning that kind of thing so that guy doesn't get on there is a good thing, right? Because that's disruptive and causes a problem for their show, and it's disgusting, right? So that's I guess the difference right there,
I guess
right? Pretty simple.
I guess that's fair because I could definitely meet you halfway and say there are certain things that have no place in society for sure. I think the difference is when you start pushing the line, people start having different opinions as to what is okay and what's not. And I think right now that's where society has come to a crossroads where it's like, what's okay, what's not. And I feel like we've gotten to a good middle ground overall. And the direction that I hear
Our
coming from
culture's
you,
like the worst it's ever been. That's why your channel's big, because the culture's in such a shitty state that you talked about how bad that leftist culture was, and you blew up because of that.
I
We're
don't think
not
the
in a
left,
middle happy state right now. It's quite the opposite. We are just hanging on by a bare thread. And that's
I
why we're
don't,
fighting the culture war. That's why Grums is doing what he's doing. That's why we all have had to do this
I'm,
since Gamergate because society collapsed to such a
okay,
level. This is
I'm
like
specifically relating to porn is what I'm talking about.
specific, but you can't separate all that. It's all connected, right? All
Okay, but
societal
I'm just
elements are
saying, as
connected. So
far as
just taking
society
one
is right,
thing in a vacuum doesn't really matter. It just matters what the context is for society, right? To be whether it's good or bad. It's like this. A dictatorship. Is a dictatorship inherently bad? The answer is no. A benevolent, good dictator, like my good friend Nayib Bukele in El Salvador, is a good thing, and he made El Salvador great again, made it into a beautiful place. A bad dictator, who's an example of a bad dictator?
Mao.
Chairman, Mao, who slaughters his own people, is a bad thing. It's not dictatorship that's a bad thing. It's just the context of who it is and what's being done with that tool, right?
Yes, Neo. What? Exactly, what? And Mr. Mitchell says, now we are getting about how big other people's channels are now. This is getting more and more ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to imply that Smash JT just blew up because of he was covering the drama or whatever. But Smash JT was here like for years and years. He was, I mean, he was working his ass off on YouTube. So you can't just attribute that to the times. Of course, everything matters, and you have to ride some waves. But if you're doing it because you're passionate about it anyway, you're doing it because that's part of what you really believe. If you're genuine. So you can't just like imply that, oh, you benefited from that. Yeah, you benefited from that. I mean, why is John's channel right now not doing so well then? Because since I stopped watching him, actually, his channel is not being that popular, let's just say. So why is that? I mean, he is still riding all the waves himself, right? He's doing everything, just like Smash is doing, but he's not doing it in that same manner because something is not quite okay there. Imagine that. And yeah, Sauron is an example of dictatorship. Yeah, okay. Continuing, guys. We gotta get through this.
You don't have an
and that's
issue-
exactly what we have here.
So you don't have an issue with like clothing on someone. It's more just the act of sex is what you call porn.
For nudity, it depends, because obviously there's a lot of great Renaissance art that is just, the human form and presenting beauty, and is not meant and designed for somebody to just fap to or whatever, right? It's kind of a different thing. But that's a context thing. And, like I said, like we can disagree on a context of like whatever that is, like whether it's this much or this much. That shouldn't lead to personal insults and calling somebody racist and anti-Semite and stuff like that to try to target and go after them, right? Or say things about make up the bullshit you guys are spreading, that he's a gay furry because I called somebody a gay furry, and that's the case, but you let your chat proliferate it and you don't correct them, right?
But it was proven that he's a gay furry, basically. So it's not just about what he just said. So I'm confused. He's just gonna deny that directly, or?
And you're careful about not saying it yourself now. I mean, the way that you phrase things is very careful these days, but you do like to propagate them the same way. And that's been my exception. That's where it's like, okay, this is personal and it's ugly. And why? Because like I said, KDC2 was woke, and it is woke. What's the problem here, right? So there shouldn't be a problem. And that's
So the whole game is not woke. This one thing is woke because it's done reasons. Daniel Barber decided to actually get into that. It's a long topic, but he would say that the whole game is woke if just one thing is woke. And that is a woke element, like Disgusting says. But that doesn't make the whole game woke. Like, what? The whole game is just a normal game at the end of the day. This one thing is bad. Yes, it's not supposed to be there. Hey, Smash JT is here. I'm here lurking, can't chat much, sorry. Okay, thanks Smash for being here in any case, thank you so. Continuing, yeah, if you can't say anything, I would appreciate that, but of course, we're just gonna continue, and you're free to say anything in the chat, of course.
That's been my whole assertion the entire time. There really shouldn't have been a problem, and I still don't understand why you've got one. So if you just knock it off, I'm told.
So Smash is supposed to knock it off, but Jon is not doing anything. He's perfect. He's amazing. He's amazing. He's just the example of integrity here. The absolute example.
Totally cool. I want to help you fight Kotaku. I want to help you fight
if you
the new
stop
Valnet
saying
Polygon.
stupid shit online, I'll knock it off too. But I can't get behind you
What?
if I see you writing stuff that's just I don't agree with. I'm going to call it out too. And
So
I feel like
you're gonna stalk
I
my
feel
feed
like
and
we-
just like wait for to take me out of context on something so you can.
What out of context? I mean, he's straight up saying stuff, and then you took me out of. No, you're digging yourself into a hole. Nobody is writing your tweets, right? But then he's just gonna say that what he said is not really important, and he doesn't care. So that makes it okay. If he doesn't care, it makes it totally fine. It's fine.
Label me
how is it out of
some leftist
context,
term.
bro? Like you need to be
You
aware
called me
of
an
your actions.
anti-Semite this morning. I mean,
Did
my
you
God.
not?
Because
I
I
was
said
really
I
gonna
feel
read-
like a
I was
Jewish
gonna go
person in
back-
Nazi Germany, and then the person
Dude, the
saying it's
things
fully
you
okay.
said to Master TDS were abhorrent. And you're trying to laugh
How's
it
that
off like it's not a
abhorrent?
big deal.
How is that? I still
No, just no. Well, like we said earlier, I mean, no decent person will ever touch these topics, let alone say that to their friend. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No one would touch this. No one would say anything like this. I'm just like absolutely shocked and disgusted by this point. That he's tripling down, quadrupling down. I don't know how many quadrupling. Yeah, he can say by this point, but he's laughing about it, and he's like, yeah, not a care in the world. No, no inner like moral compass or whatever. Like, what is conscious really? No conscious. Like, nah, it's totally fine. Desermo says to send you some screenshots of the furry Lucaria nonsense. Thank you so much. I would not have had the patience Smash is showing in this. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me too. But that is what he's doing. He's just laughing over, talking over Smash, whatever. He's just interrupting all the time. That's what he does. But then he's the righteous one.
don't understand how that's abhorrent whatsoever. Like I said, what Gina Carano said. So you believe because Gina Carano said this, you believe she should be fired for Disney because of that post she made, which is exactly the same thing I said, but I said it in a personal context. She said it about Republicans. Was Gina Carano abhorrent by making that comparison?
I am not familiar with that
You
situation.
want me to bring
I'm
it up?
not-
I will bring up her post. I've got it right
Fine.
here. Okay, I will got it.
I don't understand.
And I mean, notice how he's controlling the conversation by bringing something else up that is from the outside, so he can prove a point, but without actually including Smash in this, because again, Smash is not familiar with this, and it has been so long since this actually happened. I mean, how many years now? I even forgot by this point. So in that way, he's just very conniving how he's doing this. Always trying to control the conversation no matter what. And thank you, December. I saw that. I saw these. I've got to focus on them later off screen because they seem a lot.
Is this abhorrent? Because this is exactly the same thing I said.
I
And
feel
I
like
said
it's
this
a false
intentionally because I was
equivalency,
using
though.
I was actually
Because
looking at the Gina Carano thing. She says Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even children.
He's even ready with the screenshot. So he had this planned before the stream. Keep in mind that. He had this already ready to be loaded and shown on screen. Just so he can ambush Smash JT with this. Yeah.
Because history is edited, most people today don't realize you get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews. The government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different than hating someone for their political views? And her context of this was because this is how people treat Republicans. So she got fired from Disney for this. And they said it was abhorrent. That was the whole deal. All of her co-stars disavowed her. They said exactly the same things you said, because I said something very, very similar to this, right? So this is exactly what I'm saying. I feel like I'm targeted like this. She said she feels like she's targeted like this. And you're saying...
Well, back then, actually, back then I was pretty surprised that actors in general started speaking out about politics. And she was like meddling into things and she was saying some stuff. I don't remember everything. This seems pretty crazy to me again. And I'm like, why are actors, MMA fighters, ex-MMA fighters, whoever, have to do this at all? But anyway, it's been a long time.
We're
so
abhorrent for
important
saying
to
that.
you.
And you called me an
Why-
anti-Semite. You
Yes,
called me an anti-Semite. And
I'm
you,
still
like, on a
dude,
video
I'm
this
gonna
morning.
leave it. There's literally,
Why is
if
it
you don't
important?
But yeah, I wouldn't bring that up ever if I was Gina Carano, like ever. And when you actually look into this, it was horrible times for the Jews, and some people accepted them, and some people didn't. And that's what happened. And it was absolutely horrible. Atrocities were again committed. Why would you bring this up at all? Why would you compare it to something of today? The horrors that people lived through back then is nothing like most of us are going to live through today. So, especially when you compare something like this to something that's happening to a modern person in not a third world country, in a modern country that will probably never live through anything like that. Why would you have to make such comparison at all? it's a false equivalency to me. And it's really, you know, it lacks any sympathy, if you ask me. That in particular, it feels very off. And December says, but here with people like Smash and so many others who are going against GDA and George, it's not because of conservatism. So many of them voted conservative and are conservative. Yeah, that whole thing with politics just looks so ridiculous from the outside. Warmanic says Gina Carano was under fire because she didn't want to put her pronoun in her bio. Well, yeah, she really shouldn't. She was threatened and called right wing. Yeah, the Bebop controversy was pushed Disney. Yeah, was what pushed Disney over the edge. Yeah, I think I remember that thing, which was not this thing. So he's trying to say that this is the thing, but I think that what you're saying was the thing. But once again, he's putting Smash into this horrible position where he doesn't know what he's talking about. This was long time ago. Many things were said and have been done since then. So this is completely cornering Smash again. So he's gonna tell me on Twitter directly in a tweet that he didn't corner Smash. He did. I can't believe that he actually replied to my tweet. I'm not gonna reply to his tweet because why would I? But yeah, once again, he said cornered. I wasn't even fighting. I hope he gets back on track. God bless. So yeah, pretending that the other person has a problem, but he's a saint. He doesn't have any problem, guys. He's perfect. He's Jon Del Arroz. He can repeat Christ verses from the Bible. He can say whatever, and that makes him the better person, right? Well, no, it doesn't.
Apologize and understand what you did wrong. I'm going to leave this conversation thinking that you're an
Okay.
anti-Semite.
Really?
Yes.
Is Gina Carano an anti-Semite then for posting
I
that?
don't give a shit about her right now because I don't work in that world. I don't know anything
Holy
about
shit,
that.
Smash!
What you said to my friend
you
was
weasel
very
out of all this. You have
anti-Semitic.
no. This is my whole problem. You don't have any standards, man. This is
How
wild.
is make how is
How is Smash not having any standards? Ridiculous. Again, he's controlling the conversation, pushing different narratives, saying things just directly from his butt.
making a metaphor anti-Semitic?
It's not. That's what's ridiculous.
Right, I know.
Correct.
That's why I'm asking how. I'm asking him how is that? It's just a metaphor. So how would that possibly be?
It's not a metaphor when you're touching upon super sensitive subjects, when he knows that that is also his friend. It is literally malicious. It's how this is coming across. So I know that he's realizing this. It's common sense, it's common knowledge, so he can't pretend that he doesn't know. Maybe Nick Fox Day doesn't know, maybe he's so ridiculously not educated even on that base level, but he's defending John, who is doing... can't even.
Anti-Semitic
What
one way or
an
the other.
awful approach. It's just a metaphor, bro. Like,
It is.
It is
You know
literally
what?
just a
You know
metaphor.
You know what?
Literally.
Smash.
Yes.
I don't give a damn about all the anti-Semite bullshit and all the crying about it. I'm an American Indian. We suffered way worse than anybody did in World War II.
What? Way worse? I mean, it's not about comparing suffering here, but how can you again? How can you say that? We can all compare suffering through, throughout history then. I can say about how we suffered for 500 years, because 500 years is a lot. I don't remember any nation exactly suffering like that, like we did for 500 years because of the Ottoman Empire. I don't remember that in history. Maybe if somebody is like more into history would tell me, but 500 years of total ape, I'm missing the R on purpose, ape all the people all the time, burn them, like killing them in the most horrific ways, actually boiling them like eggs in vats. He doesn't know that. He's American. Most people don't know that. We were white people. And that was done to us for 500 years. We were forced to convert to Islam when we were Christians. Some people till this day are still converted to Islam, and they still believe that their Bulgarian heritage is bad because they were conditioned to think that, and they're Bulgarian. Although their mothers, their grandmothers, great grandmothers were aped all the time. And like 5 million kids were transferred to Turkey, and now you see Turkish people in the Turkish TV shows that have blue eyes and blonde hair. That's from our genes. That's literally have been proven because of those 5 million kids that were exported. They were just taken as slaves. We were slaves, white people, slaves for 500 years. I can't even begin to explain how horrific that was. So if we gotta compare, but we shouldn't, it's horrible. Yeah, it's called Krvendanak, which means blood. Blood. Sorry, I'm trying to translate this very easy. A blood tax, basically, it's like taxes in blood. That's how it was called. Can you imagine that? And they called us names because we were white and Christian. They didn't even think as us as humans. There was like whole churches with I don't know how many skulls of people that were brutally killed, and just the skulls are so many. They're just on top of each other like a mountain there. Yeah, blood debt. Thank you, Valkyrie. Blood tax, blood debt. Yeah. Yasto says there are whole regions in Bulgaria who don't speak Bulgarian anymore. Oh, yes, or yeah. Yeah, Pomaci are called the people that are half, they're Bulgarian, but they think that, they hate that part of themselves, and they only worship the other part of themselves, that it's the Turkish part, and they follow their customs instead of Christian customs, our customs, whatever. It's horrible. War Maniac says Islam is one of the worst bully in the world, personal opinion. Yeah. And that is something that they're trying to erase from our history now. We literally have heroes that died in horrible ways just to protect the country. They're famous for that. We love them and cherish them to this day. No one will forget that. No one will forget what happened to us. And actually, our last king, Boris, I think, our last king, he actually protected the Jews exactly in these moments that were spoken about here, when they were in different countries trying to flee. Some countries, some people protected them, some people murdered them in horrible ways. Yes, Vasil Levski, one of our heroes, thank you. And Botev and all, a lot. And so, our king protected them. That's why Jews actually appreciate us as well. And we didn't do the horrible things. We did the right thing then. But anyway, I mean that people from other parts of the world, they don't know about that. They don't know about this 500 years of slavery of pure white people. White as the board, and how we were tortured and killed and murdered, and how our women were, and the kids were, and everything was. I can't even say and think about half of those things. And Valkyrie says Roman Empire stopped it, I believe. If not, more areas would have been Islamic, or I am confusing them with Muslims. I can't remember correctly. Yeah, Roman Empire. That's earlier. That's earlier. Okay, stopping with that. We continue with the stream though. But I just wanted to say the point is that, guys, that also happened, but most people don't know about that, and they always refer to other things that are super important, super big, obviously. But again, black people didn't know that white people were slaves. Some of them don't know. Not even for a little bit, let alone 500 years, said that we were slaves just as much, and actually a lot worse than most people in general. So yeah.
But I'm not crying about it. I'm not getting my panties in a twist every time somebody refers to a massacre.
Well, neither are we, but we will never forget that, and we never should. It's history. We should remember it. And some people still feel this way towards Christian people, and you know that very well. So we gotta be aware. We gotta be vigilant. I mean, we gotta be aware. Okay, that's just it.
It's a metaphor.
But there
There's
are
nothing...
plenty of people that
You
are
scalped
Indians
his argument,
that
Vox.
do get that. And do you at least be respectful of them if they do, or do you not give a shit about them?
Did you notice I just made a joke and I said he scalped your audio, which is a very derogatory statement to Native Americans right there. And do you notice he didn't give a shit?
Because
this is stupid. This is what leftists get mad about, and that's my point.
It's just meaningless rhetoric that emotionally manipulates people. That's all it is.
Correct.
And you're not emotionally manipulating anyone. You're not trying at all, right? Okay. So the December says, worse than not knowing, they don't want to know. It doesn't play to their narratives. Yes.
All right. Do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, are you like? Did we come to an understanding? I mean, are you gonna knock off just
What understanding, man? You don't let him talk. Like Smash is just besides himself.
going with personal slander for gossip stuff for Razor Fist and myself and doing that kind of thing, like
if you
for
keep
clicks?
doing
It
stupid
seems
shit, I'm gonna
pointless.
keep calling it out. This is not changing anything. I think what this was supposed to do was to be like come to an understanding of, okay, I'm gonna try to be better and we're gonna try to work towards a common goal. It almost sounds like
But-
you're more
But
like,
you needed
hey,
to
I'm
come
just
here to
gonna keep doing
apologize
this
to me
stuff,
for
and you
trying to
better
cancel
keep
me for 3
agreeing
months.
with me,
Smash.
because if you don't, then we're just gonna keep being having
I didn't
problems.
ask. I didn't ask you to agree with me. You keep demanding I agree with you. You're like, well, is this porn?
No,
Is
I
this
don't-
bad? Is
I
this
don't
bad?
want-
He's not demanding anything. Like, how can you say he's demanding? He's not even allowed to talk. Hubris.
And I'm like,
agree with me either.
not really.
You're
And
the
in fact,
one
I
that's
actually
saying
agree
we have
with you
an
on all the stuff.
understanding.
And then you're like, and then you don't have an argument because you're like, oh my gosh, all the stuff I've said about him was false. Like that's what you're actually thinking. And that's why you're so slow to respond to some of this stuff. And it's like, just stop. Like, why are you doing this? Like,
Yeah, he's projecting, he's deflecting, he's literally, accusing Smash of what he is doing.
what is this about? What is your objective? Because my objective, and I'll
objective
tell
is
for
to
the
get
chat,
this shit out of gaming. All this shit, including
shit
the
out of
stuff you
gaming?
guys are trying to inject.
I don't
into
even
it.
make video games. What's out of what am I putting into gaming?
So he's not making video games, but he is talking about video games and complaining about video games and what's in them. And is straight up saying, calling video games woke or whatever. So he pretends that he has no attitude or any opinion then, if he's not making games. Right? Like he's excluding himself from the conversation all of a sudden, where he was so vocal about, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and so on in general. And Zembro says, I'm getting triggered. I might actually end up responding to this if it causes me a giant headache and a 2-hour video. Yeah, I feel yeah. But we're almost there, because then at the end of the stream, he's just gonna promote his books, which he never does. Never does. That are purely fan fiction, basically. He's basing his books from other universes. He just changes things around. It's literally like fan fiction, and he's doing it in the way that is not that similar, so he doesn't get sued. That's how it is.
Ideology.
But I don't make video games, so I'm not
Do
putting
you
ideology.
play video games?
Yes, so I'm not allowed to play Mario Kart and be a Christian. I'm
Nobody said anything of the sort.
very confused. Like,
Do you play? No, Mario Kart is not what we're talking about, though. Do you play video games that you're talking about on a daily basis?
do I play video? I've played Stellar Blade. I played Space Marine 2. Yeah, I don't play KDC 2 because it's woke. I don't buy woke things. Right. I didn't play Assassin's Creed Shadows because it's woke. I'm not giving Ubisoft my money. Correct. Like, yes, I play the games I like, and then I talk about the games I don't like and why. I should be able to do that without somebody, I guess, trying to personally go at me and call me an anti-Semite because
Nobody is saying anything of the sort. Like, he's, again, pushing another narrative that Smash JT is trying to say something that he's not trying to say. And Neil says, what if I play as Aristotle? Great! Yeah, don't forget about the books. Yeah, bro played 2 games the last 24 months. Yeah, who knows?
I don't like a video game. I mean,
No,
I
no,
don't.
it's not
I still
about
don't
because you
understand where
don't
this is
like a
coming
video
from.
game. To be clear, it's because of what you said to Master of TDS.
Right. So you
It's
don't
not
want
about the
ideology in
video
video
game
games.
with
Guess
that.
what? That doesn't exist because every human has an ideology, and every story, if there's a story to a video game.
Now he's just talking to himself. I mean, now John just talks to himself, and he's explaining something that it is in his head. I mean, the narrative. And Smash GT is trying to make him come clean and face the question directly, but John is like just spewing stuff. Yeah, he's just, in his automatic mode, basically. December says, Stellar Blades is very woke for GDA if he applies the same standards he applies to other games. Woke and degenerate to him. 1, strong female protagonist. And 2, she is unapologetically attractive. Yes, and by the way, he did say, Jon Del Arroz, through the months that I have been watching him before he went so to this crazy route of not being objective at all, he did say quite a few things that were straight up sexist. Like sexist, something like woman should be in the kitchen, kind of a thing, like directly saying that uh, with this ha 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 kind of a tone. Like he smiles behind the camera. He's just like, yes, women, they should be totally in the kitchen, and something like that. I can't quote because that was months ago. I don't know where it was. I just remember that he said a few sexist things. You can go and search if you like. But if I ever do a video on him, I have to literally go through a lot of his videos, and he's basically counting on that. That's so much work that nobody's gonna do it. It's really hard work, but in any case, he's doing new things that are bad. So here you go.
game will have an ideology to it. So that's never going to be a possibility. That's absurd to say that, right? It's like I don't even know why you'd go that. I'm not making video games though, so I'm not inserting ideology into any video games. I'm not a video game creator, so you shouldn't have a problem with me on that.
So is that a video game creator? Then why does he complain about games, and why did he make such a big deal out of this gay scene in Kingdom Come, sorry, Deliverance 2? Was it because the views? Yes. And December says, yeah, he also has some serious allegations against him on abuse. I don't usually like to get into these matters in videos, but it's out there. Yeah, I know. But if you want to get into that, you really should dig into that because it's a serious thing. So you gotta know more. So yeah.
Level
feel like
because
you
I didn't
don't-
do anything.
I feel like you don't really care about the game future. You just want to make
Oh
sure.
yes, I do. I don't want woke in the game future, and I don't want woke, especially for my kids' games. That's the I have. Do you have kids?
Yeah.
Of course, he probably knows that Smash has kids, so that question is ridiculous. Everybody knows that Smash has kids. I mean, what?
Okay, I don't want all this like weird.
Oh, that's the
true
same
shit
thing
around
I'm
my
fighting
boys.
for. I think the difference is
Okay, cool.
our definition of woke is a little bit different. I think that's maybe where it comes down to, where I'm a little
Okay,
bit more
well-
flexible with it, and you're a lot more hardlined with it.
Well, I want to secure a future for game.
Well, the definition of woke was always the same since it started. It's just that people like John, they just decided to stretch it to where it fits his narrative, just so he can make the bombastic titles and the videos for it. So woke is always what is pushed forcefully, and it does not contribute to the story. It's obviously there to check boxes and all of that. It's very easy to determine what actually is woke. Before before 2013 or whatever, they were changing some races here there. I mean, they were doing some race swapping in the movies, like that example that we gave at the beginning of the stream with disgusting, with Nick Fury. But it was a very good choice, and it's not like a big character that would matter that much. I mean, it's not Superman. Once again, it's not someone like that. He was always white in the comic books, but it was not as significant. So this change and the way that Samuel Jackson played the character was great. So in that kind of a way is justified. It did contribute to the story. He played it well, but today is not like this. They're switching characters around. I mean, they're race swapping. They're giving a lot more character to women, and they're crushing male characters to elevate women, where that's not how you elevate women in gaming or in movies. The same thing is probably going to happen, It's going to happen to Fantastic Four now. That's how it looks like. That, Sue Storm's going to be the front figure and the leader of the team instead of Reed Richards, how it was always have been. And she has, in general, in the comic books, absolutely huge contribution to the story and to how she is supporting her husband and all those things. She's not just like there. She's a hero, of her own right. You don't need to destroy and emasculate Reed Richards to make her look better. That's not how you do it. It's respect to the characters, no matter if they're men or women. They should be both portrayed as they're supposed to be portrayed, how they are in the comic books, and that's not what we're seeing today. So there's a lot on that topic, but yeah. The point is that it's very easy to see what is woke and what is not. You just have to be freaking honest and have common sense And remember just how things were a few years ago. It wasn't that far away. I mean, that far off by this point. The conversation about the definition of woke is very interesting and important. Exactly to December. Actually, we both should think about what we have to talk about in our own stream. Maybe that's one of the things that we should touch upon because it is very relevant and, like you said, it is very important to make the distinction. So yeah, think about that.
Gaming and for my white children. Is that okay with you?
He said white children.
Why did you say the word white?
Just to trigger you.
No, he slipped. Guys, he slipped. He slipped. Thank you, Decembro. Hi, Wilco. Hi, Wilco. He slipped.
No, I mean,
Is it okay? Is it
curious.
okay? Is it okay that my children are white, or is that not okay?
It's totally fine, but
Okay,
But then he's gonna say that he's not white. So wait for it.
I almost feel like
Thanks.
the more I've seen from you, the more it almost strikes me as you're like a white supremacist. Would that be accurate?
I'm
He's
Hispanic.
Mexican.
And I'm my wife's El Salvadoran, so that's ridiculous.
So you're not white. Well, I mean, Latino people are, well, really white. I mean, literally, we have studied in geography, you know, demographics, races, all that. Latino people are basically white people. Not completely like European white, but very white. Some of them are almost as white as European people. And he just said that his children are white and then said that that is ridiculous because they're Latino, basically. So, what I just gonna. I have to go back a bit because he just contradicted himself in a matter of what, 10, 20 seconds?
Didn't have a problem with me on that
I
level
feel like
because
you
I didn't
don't-
do anything.
I feel like you don't really care about the game future. You just want to make
Oh
sure.
yes, I do. I don't want woke in the game future, and I don't want woke, especially for my kids' games. That's the I have. Do you have kids?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want all this like weird.
Oh, that's the
true
same
shit
thing
around
I'm
my
fighting
boys.
for. I think the difference is
Okay, cool.
our definition of woke is a little bit different. I think that's maybe where it comes down to, where I'm a little
Okay,
bit more
well-
flexible with it, and you're a lot more hardlined with it.
Well, I want to secure a future for gaming and for my white children. Is that okay with you?
Why did you say the word white?
Just to trigger you.
No, I mean, I
Is
do
it
find
okay? Is it
curious.
okay? Is it okay that my children are white, or is that not okay?
It's totally fine, but
Okay, cool.
I almost feel like
Thanks.
the more I've seen from you, the more it almost strikes me as you're like a white supremacist. Would that be accurate?
I'm
He's
Hispanic,
Mexican.
and I'm my wife's El Salvadoran, so that's ridiculous. So
How are then your children white? He obviously sees himself as white. So how is that not a complete contradiction in 2 seconds?
Yeah.
so
So
I'm
what-
not white.
But you just don't like black people?
No, I love black people, especially Kanye West, except for the weird gay stuff he did with his cousin. That was weird.
All right. Anything else?
I guess I just don't understand what your point is. Like you're like, I'm just gonna.
Exactly, Waco. Yeah, says he has white children and says he's not white. It's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things that it's the most like laughable in this stream because directly he just contradicts himself. It's so bad.
I'm gonna every time you have a tweet I don't like, I'm gonna go fancifully off the rails against you, and just like I did with Razorfist. I mean, is that the conclusion here? Because my objective with this was,
Wait,
hey,
wait,
we
are
are
you saying
against.
that I'm the one going off the rails after what you wrote to Master TDS?
Yeah, you made a video saying
Oh, it doesn't matter, Anio, because he already said that he has white children. And then he said that it's ridiculous because, I mean, whatever Smash said, it's ridiculous because he's not white and his wife is not white because they're Latino. I mean,
JDA is an anti-Semite.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that's
you-
off the
in
rails.
my opinion, you are an anti-Semite. Correct. And you keep laughing about it every time. Like, bro,
Because it's
I don't know what to tell
absurd.
you. No, it's not absurd. You're not
Because
accountable for
only
your actions, what
left-wing
you
people
say.
talk like this.
no, if you respect Jewish people, you don't go there. You don't say stuff like that. Not to a friend, not to anyone. Period.
What's
Only
that?
left-wing people talk like this. We listen. Listen.
No. I mean, you can call then left people or right people, anyone. Can it just be about tact, a common decency, and just respecting other people? No?
Ever since I got on voice chat in Halo back in the day, I said the N-word. Did you say the N-word ever in a voice chat?
No, I never have.
Okay. Well,
Never.
all right. I did. So, and you
And he's happy that he did, but then he says that he's not racist at all. And what Smash says is ridiculous. Really.
know what? I'm not apologetic for it either. So,
That's
He's not apologetic, but he's not a racist, guys. He's not.
fair. That's
because
fair.
like, why? And PewDiePie said it too, and it was totally fine when PewDiePie said it too.
Well, also depends on the context. And, from what country are you? Some people actually don't think that that's racist. In other countries, it depends. And black people there don't think that. They say the word all the time as well. It depends on which country you are, what perspective you have. But if you know that you're talking with somebody that's from the state, for example, you have to be respectful. You have to keep your mouth shut and not speak like you are the village clown or something like that. You gotta be self-aware of what the heck are you doing. So yeah.
So this is the deal. This is what gaming's always been. And getting offended like a little bitch about every little stupid thing and trying to ramp the offense and go racist, sexist, that has no place in gaming. That's what I want out of gaming. That's why I'm fighting, and that's why I've always been fighting. And that's honestly, I think why you're a little nervous about this, because I think you understand that
I'm not
side
nervous at all.
of
I'm
trying to
just
control
frustrated.
people with
nervous at all.
words like anti.
So now he puts things. Now he is calling Smash nervous. He's literally attacking him directly by, again, pushing another narrative, basically. I'm exhausted by this point, but I think that we're nearing almost the end. The Decembro says, not at all. Like, I'm not an evangelist on this, but it's obvious that there's an underlying inappropriateness to it. That's why he said N-word right there and not the word itself. Yeah. Well, yeah, if he was so brave, yeah, that's a good point. If he was so brave, why just not say it like right now? Like, what is stopping him? What's the hold up, Bob? In Looney Tunes language. Warmaniac says, simple-minded people like GTA don't have the sophistication to gouge people individuality or by something more complex like their ideology. He must resort to surface things like race, color. Yeah, just deflect the conversation all the time. Once again, if you're an honest person, you're going to answer directly questions and you're not gonna be around the bush about it, changing topics, deflecting to other people, Gina Koran or whatever, literally bringing stuff up that he is prepared for before the stream because he had the screen grab and he showed it. Maybe he was hoping that Smash is not familiar with that, and even if he was, really so much time has passed since that happened, and it's irrelevant to what actually Jon Del Arroz did right now. It is. His actions are his actions. We can't just say, oh, Gina Carano did this, so it's okay what I did. No, that's not how things work. That's dishonest. Being intellectually dishonest, literally. If there's intellectually dishonesty definition, and if it's like an encyclopedia or whatever, the picture of Jon Del Arroz would be there. Okay? It's gonna say intellectually dishonest, this person. He did this, and that. Multiple examples. Yeah, and Zambo says he doesn't care about gaming at all. He doesn't play shit. Yeah, you're making me say stuff online on the stream. And GTA only plays games if he can get on a voice chat to sell more books. Yes, of course. Buy our book. Buy my book. Yeah, buy. Okay, anyway.
Semite and all that, it doesn't work anymore. And
it does work.
It kind of makes you look like a leftist. It really does.
No.
And so I would love for you to stop doing that.
There's still some things that are not about literally modern ways of thinking about politics. They're just human decency, okay? And things that we know that are not okay to say. That's enough.
And if I have a game that I call it woke, you're welcome to say it's not woke, and we're welcome to have a debate about that. But if you start talking about my wife and stuff like that because I'm talking about a game calling it woke, which you did in your first stream, by the way.
I talked about your wife?
To your credit, you haven't since then. But
when did I talk about your wife?
In the first.
I also don't remember such thing.
Stream. I clipped it, buddy, because it was libelous.
Then show it on another stream if you really clipped it. If that exists.
Okay. So that was why I took exception. That's why I got really angry on this level. Yes.
I do not recall if that's the
And not that there is the Zembro, it's just that I almost never swear. It's one of the things that I don't like to do at all. I don't swear in my own language, and I don't swear in English. Sometime I'm gonna say something, it just because I have to make it like, well, funnier, but that's so rare. You can probably record 5 curses in my whole YouTube career so far since I started, and they're gonna be just about something funny, not because I really want to curse or anything like that.
case, I
Okay.
apologize. I do not recall ever doing that.
Okay.
That doesn't strike me as
that
something
is
I would do,
why
but
I was like, whoa, this is a next level thing. And that's where I was at
I
with
would
this, 'cause it
I
was
would like to
personal.
see the context if you don't mind
No.
sending me that afterwards, because
Okay,
I'm
sure, I will.
thanks.
But that was
Well, you can totally curse on our stream, don't worry. It's just that I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna say F. Yeah.
that's why I DM'd you the first time about all this as well. But yes, okay. But you apologized. I'm good with it. So if that's the case, I think the personal attacks are just gross and silly and need to stop, because we all need to be working together against these.
Oh, actually, Smash is always trying to attack the arguments. And I know that it seems like, sometimes you can interpret that as attacking someone personally, but no, it's attacking the argument. That's the thing. You made a silly argument. You have to use the word you if it was you that said it, you know? Yasu says you should start swearing Empress. No, that's not me. And I don't like that. It's bad energy. I don't like it. I don't feel like it. It's just not good. It's not how I was raised. Okay. And woman swearing? That's just not good. Portuguese people swear like sailors, probably because we were sailors. Okay. Women who don't swear are prettiest, personal opinion. And when they do swear, it emphasizes the point. War Maniac, I don't know how you did this, but totally that's actually what I meant. Exactly. Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I meant. It's really to emphasize a point, but again, it's rare, so I'm just gonna say, hey, F that, or damn. Actually, I don't consider really damn very much as a swear word, because even in Bulgarian, it isn't really. I mean, it's like so light, So yeah. Yes, thank you, Logan. Thank you, Logan, for supporting me, not swearing. And Dear Clyto says, now he say the attacks need to stop and he must work together. But GTA, what are you doing in this video? Yes, he's attacking Smash GTA and cornering him, like I've said in the title all the time.
Evil mega corporations, and that's what's important. And that's what I've been trying to push the entire time. KDC2 is run by and owned by an evil mega corporation called the Embracer Group. They're one of the worst out there. They've always been one of the worst out there, and they corrupted the guy. I was right about that. I wasn't throwing blind.
Why didn't they make the whole game woke if they're so bad? Why they just made like one gay scene? I mean, it shouldn't be there again. It shouldn't be there. But if they're so bad, why is like the whole game a pretty solid game then?
Darts, I've recognized the patterns of this stuff and I reported on it. And that was it. You didn't like my patterns I saw on it, which is fine. But like, you didn't need to go out there and tell everybody we're Kotaku and fake news and rile up your whole audience about that, when that is not what we did. We were
I
not
felt like you
just
were
doing
pushing
that.
a narrative because you guys found something about an underage kid, and it's like, well, not really, but kinda. I'm like, bro, like,
Oh,
I
it was
feel like
beyond. No, it was not really. They literally listed him as 15, and then Daniel Varvo, his response was not, he's not underage. He did that 2 days later.
he
His
said there are no
response was,
kids in it.
it was normal then to like have 14 and 12-year-olds have sex and to have witnesses for it. So his implication with that, again, if you can read,
So-
like, and is that it's
So if
normal
that's
for
the
kids
case,
that age
is
to be
that-
doing that, and that's why he showed it, because it was historically accurate. So he
If
was
that's
showing
the-
that.
If that's the case, what's the issue? Do you have an issue because you don't want it to be historically accurate, or do you have an issue because it's pedophilia? It should not be in a game no matter what,
I think pedophilia should not be in a game no matter what.
even if it's
Easily.
historically accurate.
Absolutely. Why do you need to put that graphically in there?
Okay. So yeah, Yastu says that 98% of what GTA says doesn't make any sense. Yes, but I wanna get to the point of this thing because it was pushed very, very hard. So obviously, Henry and I forgot the 2 guys in the game. They are grown ass men. Like Henry freaking has chest hair. Which it is visually not appealing to me at all. It's pretty gross, but that's not the point. That's just my personal opinion. So they are grown ass men. They're played by 30-something-year-old people. And maybe historically these guys were younger, but this is not exactly a historically accurate game. They're obviously depicted as grown ass men. So it is the only thing that matters is they are depicted as grown ass men. And if the game provided context of how things were and they were younger then, okay, this is just for our information, like FYI, this is how it was or whatever, but in the game you're playing with grown ass men that for the most part were depicted as straight guys actually. I mean, the first game, Henry, the second one, they interacted with girls early on even. I played that part of the game when they were trying to goon over girls in the river or whatever. So, you know, for the most part, Henry, how this whole game plays out, because you probably never get to the gay scene if you don't wanna, you will never see it. It's really straight. So, how can you say that this Daniel Vavragard studio is pushing underage stuff? But I mean, where they're not. The guy has freaking chest hair. What are we talking about here? It's ridiculous. And actually, maybe they're like 20 in the game, I think, or something. They're supposed to like look 20. They don't even look 20 to me. They look a bit older, especially Henry. But never mind. It's obvious those are two grown-ass people. So at least that. And the December says, I think the creator is so important. A company can have some quotas you must meet, but if a creator is truly passionate about his craft and not woke, he can limit it to just checking a box. Yes, of course. Of course.
Now you listen, if there's this is context.
Well, because
we're talking about a pedophilia thing and we're going to go shoot a pedophile or whatever. That's talking about it, showing it, and this was not that. This was the two lead characters doing it as a way to promote homosexual porn.
How is it promoting it though? I mean, it's there, but does this mean that it's promoting it? When there's not even, you can't even get to it if you're not actively looking for it, trying to play the game so you can get to that quest or whatever. And yeah, I don't want any pedo things in my games ever, 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 ever. It should not be in a game. But that was not the case here. So this is, again, intellectually dishonest, twisting, turning things so they can seem very shocking so he can make his videos. But that's not what actually we were playing. Maybe he should play the game, see that those are grown-ass men with disgusting chest hair and armpit hair as well. Like big, really big. It's like Spider-Man spider webs in there, okay?
That's what it was. They wanted to promote the DEI agenda through pushing a homosexual relationship. That is like something that has no place in a game. 100%. Like, why? Why do you need that? It's sick.
I mean,
right?
The problem is, and I would typically agree with that. The problem is, I feel like the plot's been lost with gaming, where you don't know who to trust anymore. You don't know if it's going to be
trust Fandom Pulse because we
you don't know if it's going to be for artistic purposes or why they're
No, he can't. You cannot. I was used to also using Fandom Pulse. Now I'm not, since they're just trying to push their opinions as facts all the time.
Injecting it into the game, and that is a devastating trust issue that gamers have.
So if it was a 15-year-old boys having sex for artistic purpose, there's no artistic purpose for that. What are you talking about? Like this is a cut and dry thing.
But it's one of those things. It's like it's in a video game that it's not real. Like sure, it's loosely based on a historical figure, but they even said in it that they've taken artistic liberties with the age and stuff to make it so it's not that. But you guys were going over and above being like, well, no, they can't do that because this is his actual age at that time.
Yeah, that's stupid because again, they made an effort to make these men look like men and be men, act as actual men in the game. So that's enough.
I'm just like, I feel like it was like really trying to get a gotcha on them when I don't think that was the intent of the developer in the first place. I think it might have been like almost like an accident, not to excuse them, but I couldn't imagine.
So you're giving Daniel Vavra the benefit of the doubt, which at the time we looked at Daniel Vavra and what he was doing.
I think that maybe the developers didn't think that people are that stupid, and they're going to see that it's common sense that the people that you're actually playing with in the game are grown men. If it was me, I would not even read that. I would not even read it. I would never actually notice that. It says in history, in real history, actually, those guys maybe were a lot younger. That's not even proven, you know? I read back then how historically accurate, I mean, how did we know how old it was Henry? The years are not even like written in stone. You know, it's not absolutely 100% proven facts even. So maybe they should be like smarter, the developers, and be like, well, people are, you know, some people are just gonna take this and run with it. So we better just write explicitly that these guys are big grown ass men. And maybe in history they weren't, but in this game you're playing as big ass grown ass men. And full stop, to make it perfectly clear. I would think it's common sense to understand that when you see how the game characters look like. It is absolutely like, yeah, they're grown men, like what, you know? I never think even on the top of my head that they're trying to push anything that is underage here. Because it doesn't make any sense. If they really wanted to push underage stuff in the game, they would just make those characters look like teenagers, and they didn't do that. So this whole thing is ridiculous to say that they're pushing something, and when you see the screen, when you actually play the game, you see that those are grown-ass men, so you're feeling dumb like, oh my gosh, this guy at GTA told me that I'm gonna play with kids now, and it's gonna have this gay sex thing, but you will see that there's nothing like that, and you have to make such an effort to get to the freaking scene, which again shouldn't be there. Once again, shouldn't be there in the first place, but the point is that to try to push that this was pedo thing, it is so beyond fabricated by this point.
With everything, and we said we don't give him the benefit of the doubt, and you wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, which is totally a reasonable thing. Giving him at that point, giving him the benefit of the doubt. I saw enough where I said, okay, I've seen enough woke activism. This is Embracer Group. I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt.
That's fair.
And
you're
so
allowed to
so
say
I
that.
looked at it
That's fair.
uncharitably. You looked at it charitably, and that's the
Right.
difference. And that is fair. Now, if you said that and you made a video saying, I don't agree with Jon on this, this was the deal, but he's got good points, and here's why he says this, and actually presented it like that, this wouldn't be happening. You went out there and said, these guys are Kotaku. They're fake news. They're awful. They're just as bad as them. You made video after video and stream after stream doing that. You see, that's the big difference between what we're having this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's missing the context because I was covering the information where I felt that way about it.
So you felt right. So here's the deal. Now that you know that we don't act like that, are you going to not do that kind of thing to us anymore to try to tear our deal down? Because it's insane.
Now that you know that we don't act like that, you're still acting like that right this very minute. Great. I mean, intellectually being dishonest, like this whole stream.
Like it needs, like that's the thing that's hurting all of our side is that kind of behavior, going off the rails.
Logan says, I would say that he's a potato, but that would be an insult to all potatoes out there. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Potato rights. Potato rights. Yeah, and this time he acted even worse. Yeah, exactly. And he didn't shy away from it. He was just out there, but he still thinks with his hubris that people will take his stance and his point of view. And by looking at his comment section, actually some people did, which I really feel sorry about those people that they don't see the difference between an honest person that is trying to make his point across, but he never had a chance in this. Because they gain up on sorry, I can't say that sometimes. They're just gaining up on him, literally. They're literally cornering him. It's obvious to everybody with half a brain, but I guess Jon's comment section has a quarter of a brain or something. God, he's just like the left. Are you going to agree with this completely? No? Okay, we will cancel you. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why Disgusting said that he's calling Jon and people like him just the woke right.
Emotionally, where there's not evidence there that there's any kind of problems, and spreading things like gossip. That needs to stop because gossip is bad, right?
I think it's not. You keep saying the word gossip. I think it's conversation.
That's what it is.
Yeah, he's just turning things around again. He's just calling whatever conversation gossip so he can make it not matter. I mean, he can just cancel it altogether, because if he calls it gossip, then it doesn't matter. It has no value at all. That's what he wants to present things as. And just look at his face. Look at that guy's face. Is that an honest person's face? Is that like completely, absolutely morally sound mind and body face of an honest person? Would you trust this person in any kind of a way? No? Okay.
That's
I
not
think
a
it's
conversation.
conversation.
This is a
I think it is.
conversation. I like what you're saying here. You were charitable to him. I understood that. I didn't have to call you names or say you're a pedophile over. If I could, if I
What? He tried. He tried to slip that in there. He tried. He's like, oh, I'll be merciful and not actually call you this. Not actually call you this word now. But he totally could do that. This was just like a little tiny threat, like hidden threat. He's like, I could do that, but I didn't, so I must be such a great person. How conniving and evil is this type of rhetoric? How? I never seen such hubris in my life on stream. Or actually, yeah, I don't remember really. Yeah, you don't even trust JDA to scam you? Yeah, it's gonna scam you while he was scamming you again. Probably something like that.
wanted to go that route, I could have just, escalated that and said, "Oh, he's defending pedophilia," right? I mean, that's the other way of doing this, right? And I don't do it. You've noticed I don't do that. And so this is again, when have I done that? Chat Smash, come on. I never go anywhere like that.
Not that.
I never do that. I never go anywhere personal on this stuff at all. And so this is a spot where we have a very intelligent audience here who's very well read, and we understand this from a historical cultural perspective. I get that you just want to have your fun and gaming stuff like that. That's great.
I get that.
And
you
if you
just wanna
notice,
have your fun and gaming
I've
stuff like
never
that.
gone out there
Sorry about
and
that, guys.
told you to like or play a video game or not like or not play a video game, nor have I done that to anybody else on X or anywhere, right? But I've had that done to me. I was demanded to like KDC2. I'd better say it's not woke. I'd better agree with it or else, right?
I don't know whoever said that to him. That's ridiculous. Like pushing some narrative that somebody actually threatened him or whatever about this. Ridiculous. Yeah, brings up, yeah, the December says, brings up Holocaust talking about TDS. I never go anywhere personal. Yeah, he never does that, no.
And that's where all this came from. So why do you guys want to police what people like and don't like?
Not to
right?
rush this, but I do need to start winding it down because I need to
Okay,
make
no
dinner for
problem.
my kids.
Oh, that's fair. So are we kind of like at an understanding like where I took exception and like where I'd like to see the future go? Because we can make this
Where did he took exception?
movement way better. And if we focus on the important stuff and don't go off the rails with this stuff anymore, like, and don't try to police what people like and don't like, censorship, as you guys like to say, then that should be fine, right? I mean, there should be no reason for that. And in fact, if you notice a lot of your preconceptions, you were like, what about First Descendant and all that? I said, well, I never said that. And you're like, oh, you actually thought I said that because people kept repeating it, even though I never said
call
that.
out Melanie Mack on that too, then?
Because I don't care what she thinks. I'm
Or-
fine with her thinking that.
or
I'm
was-
fine
is
if
it more
she
that you
believes
saw her
that's
as an
porn and
ally?
gross. If she believes that's porn and gross, that's fine. I'm okay with her believing that.
See, I'm
doesn't
not.
bother
I
me.
think that's the problem. Is like
Why?
that's because that's a problem. Because then you start going down a slippery slope.
Well,
when you
it's
start
better than the
enabling that
slippery
kind
slope
of-
to underage gay sex and KDC2, my friend. I mean,
How is it that, okay, so I mean, in one sentence, or previously he would totally try to deflect this kind of a logic, but now he's the opposite. How is it a slippery slope? So when he's trying to excuse his position on something that's not even his position, he's just adjusting his position the way that is comfortable for him. He doesn't care about Melanie Mack. He just will take the opinion that will just serve him in this very moment. It doesn't matter if it contradicts himself, whatever. Because if you follow his logic and what he said previously and now what he said in this very moment, it seems like he doesn't follow his own logic. It's very easily to catch the dishonesty. It's just ridiculous. And Neo says you can't police what people like nor think if you watch too. The Decembro says Fendo post supported Melanie's comments. He's lying again. Yeah, I also think so. That I already saw that anyway.
Like, I'd
Yeah, sleazy. Thank you.
rather have the opposite. And we do need. And
I'd
here's
rather
the
keep a
thing.
balance between the two. I think that's the difference.
Balance. The balance doesn't exist. Now the thing is, you do got to move.
Balance doesn't exist. No, it does. Where did you see in games completely corn like normal games? Not the games that are the hentai or whatever, but like normal games. Most games that people play. Where did you see one extreme or the other? They made an article with her comments and Razor Fist. I covered it in my video calling them both out. Oh, thank you. Can you send me that on Twitter? I would totally like to watch it. Thank you. Wilco, thank you so much.
You do got to push the edge a little bit for the Overton window to move, right? And that's the deal. And if you look at what Melanie Mac's doing, she consciously understands that she's trying to push the edgy to the right because the Overton window is so far left right now. It needs to be done. And when you
How is that making any sense? She's trying to push the edgy to the right. What?
do that, this is called pacing and leading. Scott Adams,
I
a
gotta
very
start
smart
winding
person,
this
right?
down though. I keep talking. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I gotta start winding
Yeah,
it down.
it's okay. Well, pacing and leading is about you say here because your objective's here, right? And
It's
that's
Trump's
what a lot.
Smash isn't even listening to him by this point because he doesn't respect what Smash has to say anyway. So Smash is just like tuning out, and JD is just talking to himself again. He just likes to hear himself talk. He's in his own conversation. It's so good for him. He didn't do anything wrong.
It's Trump's negotiating
Style, and that's what Melanie Mac's doing. And I recognize that because I'm well read enough to recognize that. And maybe if you have a question on people's motivations and where they're at on this, what I'd love to see is a DM, call me or whatever. I'll give you my phone number. Be like, hey, what do you mean by this? And what does this person mean by this? And look at us and what we're saying in the light charitably that you gave Daniel Vavra, the Jewish gay guy who was putting gay stuff into the Embracer group. Look at us as charitably as you would look at him. Is that fair enough? Like, why wouldn't you give us the same benefit of the doubt you'd give Daniel Vavra?
And all I'd ask is the same from you too.
Yeah, but I do. I don't say a word about you. I get videos calling me an anti-Semite.
You're forgetting the videos where you called me some pretty awful things in your videos. So
what did I?
But I don't have time.
I don't know what it was, but I will do this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize for saying any awful things about you on that, and I will try to keep any kind of like personal attack rhetoric to a minimum because I don't want to do that to you. I want to practice what I preach, and I don't want to do that to you. I
appreciate.
I do think overall you're on the right track. I'd like to see a little push in the future to where we can kind of work together and be friendly. And I'm cool with that, but
yeah, that's not gonna happen. He's just gonna smash, stab Smash in the back in any chance he gets. I think that we all understand this. So December says Daniel Vavra is now Jewish gay guy. Come on, I have my issues with some of his actions, comments, but this is ridiculous. JDS is insufferable. Yeah, this is exactly what he does all the time. He just puts labels on everything or everyone, then he just runs with it. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. For him, it's true. His opinion is true. It's fact. That's it. Opinion is fact. I want to practice what I preach, goons, to a male Pokemon or some shit. Yeah.
knock off calling people racist and anti-Semite and stuff. It's just.
Well, just don't be racist and anti-Semite, and I definitely won't. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Just don't freaking have some tact.
All right, have a good night, brother. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it.
Okay, we're just gonna stop it here. He's gonna, do his usual stuff, like buy my book, like we said. Now, I'm gonna try to show you what Zembro showed me, but it just doesn't translate to OBS for some reason. God damn it. I mean, Zembro sent me these furry screenshots, and it's definitely a good idea for me to show you these guys, but they're literally not in JPEG. I'm gonna try to screen grab them myself now so you can see them. If you haven't seen them, they are a doozy. That's what I'm gonna say. So let's try to put some of these on screen. Just hold on. So this is one of them. Hope. Okay. So, I don't know who are these people, but hey, friends, out fellow war companions just told me they would like some fine ass Lucario on their feeds. I'm not sure in the in the footy world what is this, but it's like gooning over furries basically. That is how this looks like. I mean, if I'm not into furries, I'm not going to put a tweet like that. And yes, we survived, chat. Yes, thank you for that. Now let's see some of the others. I really have to screen grab them one by one so I can show them to you. Okay, let's go to the second one. Hold your hold your butts, I guess. This is the second one. Okay, so this is out there, Please don't forget that someone wants some of that fine piece of. I guess Lucaria is a type of a furry. Yeah, by this point. So, is this literally a sexual fetish? I mean, what else can you say about this? It's a sexual fetish, is referred to as one. This is, I mean, how is this very like Christian or yeah, how is this Christian, godly, whatever? Is this in church? Like what? This is not corn or whatever. I mean, it's not. But look at this fine piece of yeah. Now, hell if pastor, whatever that means. I think that's a gay furry language of some sorts, or just furry language, which is well gay to begin with anyway. And look at the next thing. Okay, prepare yourselves. Eh. Yes, poor Pokemon. Woo! Well, this is more suggestive and more sexual than most of the things that I've ever seen in any game. So, Eevee, Lucario, I'm not sure. What the heck is this? Jesus, I think that's all. Yeah, I think I put all on the screen. Thank you, Decembro, for this amazing contribution to the stream with these screen grabs. So, yeah. Once again, this is a freaking fetish. I mean, what else can we say about it? I first heard about furries when I watched Hot in Cleveland. It was a very good comedian show back when Betty White, as herself, was alive. And it was just amazing. And one of the guys was that one of the girls in the show was dating was actually a furry. So they play that for jokes. And that is when I found out that they're furries and stuff. So I'm like, what is that? Like the world has gone mad or something. I will offer therapy to any who need it after seeing this. I'm so sorry, chat. Yeah, it's kind of like when you see firstly anything that is crazy sexual anime stuff. That's how you feel, like a bit disturbed inside. Okay, guys, so I have been talking for like 2 hours and 45 minutes. This has been far too long even for me. I mean, I don't even do long streams, but this had to be done. Only the most important parts of this stream. So, what else can we say? I just want to, say that I'm sending all my love to Smash JT, and I'm sorry that he had to go through that. He has integrity, and that's why he went through it, but I don't think you should give audience anymore to Jon Del Arroz and just leave him to his own devices, basically. And that is it. That is it, really, because he's just wanting, he just wants to make money in this dishonest way, just being dishonest all the time. If he wants to debate someone, for real this time, which he probably would not, but let's say he wants to debate Hypnotic, that will totally not go well for him, probably. I think. But he has to learn to answer directly and not do this again. I mean, not bring another person. So maybe the only way to actually debate with him, if that even is any good idea at all, I don't think it is, but the only idea is just to invite him and than to do it like one against one, one versus one truly, and be fair, not bring a third person in there when you're not supposed to do that. So first one, he was disingenuous by bringing this third person to the conversation. And yeah, and second, everything else, and third, everything else that we mentioned. I think that's pretty much enough. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Disgusting for joining, and to Smash that he also joined the chat. The Decembro, I cannot wait to work with you. It's gonna be amazing. It's midnight here, by the way. I'm super freaking tired by this point. All the guys in the chat, thank you so much. And bye for now with me, the 40k Empress, or G Hammer Empress, on my gaming channel, fighting for everything that is good here in the gaming world, and over there on my 40k channel, trying to protect 40k from the wokeness and stuff. Yeah, guys, well, love you. Bye bye.